Good evening and welcome to January 17th, 1941. That was a Friday. I am Henry Chop, your host. And because it was a Friday, we not only listen to vintage radio broadcasts, we do a couple other special things, and I will tell you about those in just a moment. I wanted to let you guys know that if you expand the description section to this video, you will see that everything is time-checked. You could skip around to listen to what you want to listen to and not listen to what you don't want to listen to. And also in that description section, you will notice a link. That link goes to our companion channel to this one, the World War II newspaper channel. On that channel, we read the Chicago Tribune going through World War II one day at a time. We do not go through World War II as quickly as we are going through on this channel, just simply because it takes me more time to put a program together on that one. And it's about, the programs run between, I'd say 90 minutes to 2 hours long. It's all newspaper readings. You get the big historic news stories. For example, the Lend-Lease bill in Congress, the debate over that is the big story lately. But you get also the minor stories, the crime news. You get all the fighting in Europe and Asia, of course. But you also, like I said, you get the crime news, which is a very interesting thing. I try to go from when the crime is committed to when the criminal, if caught, is punished, which is always an interesting thing. It kind of creates a soap opera within the big drama of the big stories of the day. And I also feature the sports in there, so many of you vintage sports fans might find that interesting. Baseball was the national game back then, not like... It's not anymore. It's I believe it's football, or other sports have taken away from baseball quite a bit. But back in 1941, there was no rival for sure. And once World War II starts, the U.S. involvement in World War II starts getting underway, you will see vast changes in sports as players are drafted. In fact, actually later in this year, 1941, probably I'd say around April or May, some of the big stars start getting drafted off major league rosters, and we will learn about that. And also we are on Facebook. The World War II News and Old Time Radio channel on YouTube is the name of our Facebook page. Go like us over there. Go subscribe to this channel. Click on that bell icon. Subscribe to our newspaper channel, which is our money-making channel. And because it features no copyright content, and I can make money from that channel where I can't on this channel. So click over there, subscribe there, and click on that bell icon. Help me get those subscribers up over 1,000 so I can start applying for YouTube's monetization program. All right, let me tell you what we have coming up tonight. Well, first off, we are going to listen to the number one song of the week. And I will tell you what that is as soon as I get done telling you what else we are going to play. We are going to thread up that old movie projector. I have the white sheet hanging up on the wall in the living room, and we are going to watch Chapter 3 of The Green Hornet Strikes Again, a movie serial. Then we get into some radio serials a little bit, some radio adventures with the adventures of Superman, Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Superman didn't air in Chicago. It aired in New York, though, over station WOR at 5:15 in the evening New York time. Jack Armstrong aired at 5:30 in the evening Chicago time over NBC Blue. Then we have The Lone Ranger and Blind Justice. And that aired at 6:30 in the evening over Mutual. And then we have Information Please, which aired at 7:30 in the evening over NBC Red. And the guest on this program is Owen Davis. So I think you'll find that, get your thinking cap on. Now, those of you who listen to our World War II newspaper channel might know some of the topical answers to this, or you might just because you know history. So Information Please is always an interesting program when you put your thinking cap on. And then at 9 o'clock over NBC Blue, we have a boxing match. Now, this boxing match is kind of cut up a little bit, no in-between rounds commentary and no commercials or anything. But we do get a lot of the fight itself. And it's kind of a neat thing. You picture yourself on a Friday night. You got some guys over from work, maybe your neighbor over, because typically men would watch or listen to sports back in 1941. It really wasn't a woman thing like it is today. And maybe you're having a couple glasses of beer or bottles of beer and you're listening to the big fight, Henry Armstrong versus Fritzie Zivic. What a way to spend a Friday night, 9 o'clock in the evening. So we got some great stuff coming up. And right now we are going to start things off with the number one song of the week. What was that number one song? Well, it's still Artie Shaw and Fritzie. Here's the number one song of the week.
got away, but I got the $100,000 in that briefcase.
You're not hurt?
No, not much. I jumped before the car hit the water.
The others?
They're both gone. Hurry and get to the car. We still may have time to capture the man I left gassed at Foley's. You understand, Cato, that this $100,000 is the property of the stockholders of the old Colton Company that failed.
Yes, Mr. Britt. Axford was one of those stockholders. He told me the new company that took over the plant were crooks.
That's right. Now, the stockholders mustn't know that the money comes from me.
I'll take good care of that.
No, not that way. You might run into Axford. Take the back door and mail them at the post office.
You sure threw the adjectives in your description of the heiress, Laura.
There's plenty of blarney in them lines. Maybe he's figuring on marrying the million.
I understand she doesn't like reporters.
Oh, she don't she? Well, who is she to be controlling a big company the government's liable to be dependent on in case of war?
You don't mean she's really going to control it?
She could if she wanted to. She owns 3/4 of the voting stock. She could make herself chairman of the board and run the whole show if she likes.
You're right. And what a swell chance for a villain.
Morning, boss.
Good morning, lady, my boy.
Good morning.
Good morning. What do you mean, a chance for a villain?
Well, in the present world situation, aluminum is one of the most important products in the manufacture of war materials.
Of course, but I still don't see...
It's this way. Aluminum Products Incorporated controls the aluminum market. Francis Grayson controls aluminum products. Now, if some shrewd, unscrupulous person should get control of Francis Grayson...
Our first step is to find an actress whose stature and features are sufficiently like those of Francis Grayson, pass muster after a clever makeup.
Say, Chief.
I know where I can dig up a Jane that's a dead ringer for this Grayson gal, and she's a clever actress.
Who is she?
Her name's Stella Moyer.
Never heard of her.
She's famous for her impersonations. And with a little makeup, she could deceive Miss Grayson's own mother.
Miss Grayson has no mother, nor any other relatives, fortunately for us. Can this Stella Moyer be trusted?
Stella can be absolutely loyal. She's paid enough.
Bring her up tomorrow by the private elevator, blindfolded. Well, anything more?
Yeah, this Britt Reed seems to have a fifth sense in probing into things that we're interested in. This editorial in the Sentinel on the death of Grayson says in part, the Sentinel feels sure stockholders will hesitate to entrust leadership of the highly important aluminum products company to the inexperienced 21-year-old Miss Frances Grayson, who inherited that exalted position from her uncle, Homer Grayson.
You had your order to take care of Reed. Why don't you execute it?
Well, he's pretty well guarded, but waiting for a chance to do a job that wouldn't implicate us.
It's imperative that you act at once.
I guess your hunch about aluminum products was all wrong, boss. As far as I can find out, everything's under control.
All right, Lowry. By the way, when does Miss Grayson arrive?
She sails from London in about 10 days. Why, does it make any difference?
It might. You remember that memo book we got from Harper? There was a mention in it of Homer Grayson. That's her father.
That's interesting. We know that Harper was definitely connected with the crime syndicate.
Here it is. Apparently it's an order from somebody. It reads, in the event of Homer Grayson's death, consult me before publishing anything about it.
Of all the crooks. Boss, who do you think sent Harper that order?
I'd give a lot to know. Probably the head of the crime syndicate.
They're after the Grayson millions. You want to warn the Grayson company.
I intend doing that at once. I'm going to call on Kenneth North. He's vice president in charge of production out there. He's an old friend of mine. Oh, tell Axford to bring his car around to the front of the building.
Yes.
Hello, Ken.
Oh, glad to see you, Britt.
Glad to see you. Oh, this is Michael Axford, one of my reporters.
How do you do, sir?
Take a chair.
That was a splendid editorial that you wrote about the death of Mr. Grayson. We all appreciate it. What can I do for you?
What's going to be the new setup around here when Miss Grayson returns?
Miss Grayson simply gives proxies to the board of directors.
You hope she will. But by golly, you can't depend on... I knew one once...
Michael.
Now tell me, Brett, what's on your mind?
Well, as you know...
All right, Stella, you can take off the bandage.
Boy, that's your blindfolding, all right. I ain't seen a thing since I got into that car.
That was the intention, Miss Moyer. And you'll be taken away from here in the same manner. There is a general resemblance to Miss Grayson. But,
Oh, wait till she gets through with her makeup, Chief. All right, Stella, there's a mirror over there. Here's a picture of Miss Grayson. Get busy.
Huh. This'll be easy.
So, Ken, that's the whole story.
I appreciate your interest, Britt, but I'm sure that Grayson will not take any active part in the operation of the company.
I hope not.
Well, if I need help, I'll certainly call in the Sentinel. Goodbye, Mr. Axford.
Goodbye, sir.
So long, Ken.
Bye.
Perfect, hey, Krogan?
very good so far as appearances go, but there's much more to it than that.
Miss Grayson, will you please tell this gentleman what you propose to do about Aluminum Products Incorporated?
Well, I shall do nothing about it, really. What does one do about such things? I shall sign some of those, is it proxies you call them?
One of our cultured gentlemen will accompany you to Liverpool. You understand what you're to do?
Leave it to me, big boy. I get in with the Grayson dame on the boat, study her voice and so on, and show her how much we look like. Then I sell her on the idea of fooling the reporters by swapping places with me when the boat docks.
She's right, Krogan. The Grayson dame dislikes publicity, dislikes reporters. She'll be glad for a chance to trick 'em. Beside that, she's always ready for an adventure that promises a thrill. I got a complete record of Miss Grayson's life and activities. Stella will be letter perfect in the part by the time she returns.
Very good. And if you succeed, you'll be independently wealthy for life. But if you fail or try to double-cross us, the stage will lose a very charming young actress.
Don't worry. I'm not going to let you down. I won't double-cross you.
Telegram for Miss Grayson. Telegram for Miss Grayson. Miss Grayson. Telegram for Miss Grayson.
I'll take care of Grayson. You find out who's on that stretcher.
Okay, I'll meet you at the taxi stand.
All right. Just a minute, Miss Grayson. I'd like a word about Aluminum Products Company.
Aluminum products? Really? Is that anyone's business except my own? Let me pass, please.
Thanks for stopping, Reed. I got a swell shot.
Who is the puddle duck?
Miss Moria. Just seasickness.
All right, smart guy. We'll take care of her.
Like a little snip. It's just her high and mighty way of telling the world who she is. Mr. Reed's office. Just a minute, please. Mr. North of Aluminum Products on the phone.
Right. Hello, Ken. Say, you'll have to speak to that new boss of yours. She treated me like a cub reporter on his first assignment.
Yeah, she's treated me worse than that.
Really? What do you mean?
Oh, she's going to take control of the company out of the hands of the board. Signing her proxies over to an attorney named Artisan. Did you ever hear of him?
I've never met him. I know there is such a man. It's G.K. Artisan, isn't it?
That's the man. I hope maybe you had a line on him.
I don't have now, but I will have by morning.
Thanks, Reed. The control of aluminum products must remain in the hands of the board.
I heartily agree with you. Goodbye. Casey.
Yes, Mr. Reed.
Send Lowry and Axford in, please. I want a line on an attorney by the name of George K. Artisan. Do you know him?
He's a big-shot corporation lawyer. Plenty of money, country estate. What's he done?
That's what I want to know. Find out who his connections are, if he's ever been mixed up in a shady deal. In other words, I want the whole dope quick. Did you find out anything about Artisan?
Only that the guy is too perfect. He don't smoke, he don't drink, he don't go to burlicue shows. He belongs to the church and he takes up the collection.
That's the trouble. His halo fits him too tight. Even his legal practice is only up and up. There's no clue to any connection between him and that Grayson girl.
Well, keep after him.
Yes, sir.
What will you do now, Mr. Britt?
I've got to see Francis Grayson.
But if she won't talk to you...
She won't talk to Britt Reed, but she'll talk to the Green Hornet.
You mean...
Yes, Cato. The Green Hornet goes into action again.
It's good. It's almost perfect. Only you must write more quickly, with more confidence.
Why must I go to that darned old meeting? Why can't Artisan go and take the papers with him already signed? He's a corporation lawyer. He can handle it.
Well, they might question the signature, and if they see you sign the documents, there'll be no question. Now try it again, a little faster.
Cut the motor. Be ready for a quick getaway. We're taking Miss Grayson with us.
Why would you do that?
To keep her from attending an important board meeting of aluminum products tomorrow.
I understand.
That's good enough. Otterson will be here shortly to give you final instructions about the directors' meeting. Who that is? Otterson isn't due.
It's more those fool butters, I guess. Butler's got instructions to throw them out.
Show me to Miss Grayson.
What is this, a hold-up?
I have no time to argue.
There's someone there.
Well, let's find out who it is. Oh, who are you? What do you want?
Green Hornet.
Thanks for the introduction. Now stand over there. I want to talk to Miss Grayson. Miss Grayson, you talk fast. I want to know why you're placing your uncle's millions in Anderson's hands.
I don't see that that's any of your business.
Where there are millions at stake, it's always the business of the Green Hornet. Miss Grayson, you're going with me.
Oh, kidnapping, eh? Grab the phone. Call Otterson. Call the police. Call him.
You killed him!
Not so fast, Miss Grayson. Did you write that?
No, Yes, of course. It's my signature.
So you had to practice your own signature, eh? Why did you do it?
Well, because
Don't lie to me.
he made me do it.
He made you practice the signature of Francis Grayson. And who are you?
I'm Stella Moyer.
Stella Moyer, the actress. Well, spill the rest of it.
So Miss Grayson fell for the trick and agreed to come ashore on a stretcher. There was an ambulance there waiting on the dock.
Where's Miss Grayson now?
She's out at Artison's country home, 10 miles out on Morningdale Road.
And you still don't know the name of the man who employed you?
No, I tell you. I was brought to them blindfolded and taken out the same way. I'd tell you if I knew. But they said they'd kill me if I did. And they will. They will.
Now, take it easy. Take it easy, Miss Moyer. Sit down. Only keep you out of mischief for a while.
Are you all right, sir?
Yes. Well, you have to tie up these men. This one here and the one out in the hall. We'll take that one first. After you've roped them, call the police. Tell them to pick up these people on a charge of conspiracy to defraud the Grayson estate.
Arrest Miss Grayson?
No, that's not Miss Grayson. That's an actress impersonating her. Miss Grayson is a prisoner at the Anderson country home.
Mr. Otterson. Oh, Stella. What's the meaning of this?
The Green Hornet.
Hornet? What's he doing in this job? I tried to kill him, but he gassed me. I don't know what happened then.
I thought he'd killed Tower and was going to kill me. He found out who I was and forced me to tell him where Francis Grayson is.
We've got to get to my place quick. The Hornet means to kidnap Miss Grayson and hold her for ransom. If Francis Grayson gets out of our hands now, we're all due for a spell in the pen. We've got to get the Hornet. You get out of town and stay hidden. Communicate with Tor as soon as it's safe.
door. Let me out of here. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Open this door.
Quiet. Miss Grayson, you're coming with me.
With you? Who are you? What do you...
Never mind who I am. I've come to take you away from these crooks. How many people are there in the house?
I don't know. 2 men brought me here in an ambulance.
Some guy in there with that doll.
Yeah, you're crazy. You're off the beam.
I'm telling you, I heard him talking.
You sure?
Yeah. That was the Hornet in that car.
And that Grayson girl was with him. Step on it. They're after us. Over there. Come on. There must be somebody here. Hello? Look out! They cranked up!
Well, that looks like the end of the Hornet.
Don't bet on it. He's hard to kill.
Who are you?
I'm known as an outlaw, but I don't want to see the safety of our country jeopardized.
What do you mean?
Those men who were holding you were...
If they've escaped, we'll never find them in this storm. Look, there's a light. They take refuge in that house. I'll investigate. You stay with the car.
Yes. Tomorrow morning, your impersonator would have signed away your rights to Aluminum Products Company and possibly endangered the country.
Whoever you are, I owe you my life.
All right, Hornet. You've interfered for the last time.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman. Look at the sky. Look. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with physical powers far beyond those of ordinary men, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. Assigned to the job of interviewing Sidney Rycroft, British explorer, who had come to America on a lecture tour, Clark Kent discovered the explorer to be a woman, not a man as he had thought. Miss Rycroft invited Kent and Jimmy to the theater that night to see the performance of a magician named Gambini. As his performance drew to a close, Gambini invited Miss Rycroft to come up on the stage and help him perform a trick of illusion. Placing her in a box, he sealed it and then caused it to disappear. Then, to the astonishment of Kent and Jimmy, Gambini said goodnight and walked off the stage without bringing back the vanished Miss Rycroft. As we join them now, Kent and Jimmy are on their way backstage to see what happened to Miss Rycroft and Gambini. Listen.
I should be sure other ones for getting into trouble. All we do is go up to see a Sidney Rycroft, a British explorer, to interview him for the paper. First of all, Sidney Rycroft turns out to be a woman, and then we discover that she's being pursued by some Egyptian fanatics.
Fanatics, Jimmy.
Egyptian fanatics, because she broke the seal of the tomb of Osiris. And now a magician makes her disappear and doesn't bring her back again. Gosh, I wish I was Superman or somebody like that, so I could keep up with all these things that happen to us.
You're doing all right. Well, here's the street. We'll go around to the stage door.
Okay. Gee, I don't know what you're hurrying for, Mr. Kent. Even if the great Gambini wanted to get away, he wouldn't be able to do it this quickly.
Well, I'm just not taking any chances, Jim. Ah, here's the stage door. Now to find out if my hunch about Miss Rycroft is right or not. The door seems to be locked. Well, we'll knock.
Funny. Nobody answers.
Well, we'll just keep knocking till someone does answer. Well, I certainly can't understand this. Stage doors are usually open and you don't have to...
Wait. The door's opening. Look. There's an old man standing there.
Yes? What do you want?
I want to see the great Gambini.
Who'd you say?
The great Gambini. The magician who played here tonight.
Just a minute, young fella. This is some kind of a joke.
I don't see anything funny about it. I want to see
the great Gambini. Yes, I know. I don't know who's kidding you, young fella. In case you don't know it, I'm telling you now. The great Gambini hasn't played this theater in 10 years.
What's he saying?
Last time the great Gambini played here was back in 1924, 25 thereabouts. Matter of fact, we ain't had a performance in this theater for nigh on 2 years.
Oh, you're out of your mind. Well, we just this minute saw the wind-up of his performance inside the theater.
Yeah, he put a friend of ours in a box. Miss Rycroft. Made her disappear, but he didn't make her come back again.
Yes, of course. Well, you'll probably find her on the moon. Good night, dear.
Now, wait a minute. Not so fast.
Stop holding that door.
The great Gambini is inside there, and I'm going to see him. Now, get out of my way. Come on, Jim.
Holy mackerel, Mr. Kent. What's the dust in here? This place looks as if it hasn't been used in years.
Well, what have I been telling you? This theater has been closed for 2 years almost.
It looks like it, all right. Dust on these floors is an inch thick. Cobwebs all over the place.
Mr. Kent, are we going crazy? We did see the great Gambini, didn't we?
Wait a minute. There's something queer about all this, and I'm going to find out what it is. I'm telling you, we just came from inside the theater, and I can prove it. Come on.
Where to?
Out onto the stage. There'll be plenty of signs of a performance here tonight, and there'll be no doubting that we saw the great Gambini give a performance.
Yeah. Do you see what I see?
All those seats, hundreds of them, covered with dust and cobwebs. And the curtain we saw come down, all torn and tattered.
Mr. Kent, I'm getting scared. We did see the great Gambini.
Well, easy does it, Jimmy. You.
Yes? Are you convinced now that you're...
I want to see the dressing rooms in this theater. You can't convince me that Jimmy Olsen, Miss Sidney Rycroft, and myself didn't see the great Gambini here tonight.
I'm telling you...
You're telling me nothing. The dressing rooms, I want to see them. And I want to see them right now. Let's start.
Well, this is the last dressing room of the lot. Here, I'll open the door. Well, go ahead in. All yours.
Holy mackerel, Mr. Kent. This is just like all the other dressing rooms. All covered with dust and cobwebs. The man must be right, Mr. Kent. We must be wrong.
Yes, I guess we are wrong. Well, sorry to have troubled you. Come on, Jimmy, let's go.
I could have told you in the first place you wouldn't find nothing. I've been watchman here for nigh under 2 years, and I know there ain't been a performance here in all that time.
Yes. Well, good night.
What do we do now?
Jimmy, I want you to go back to the Daily Planet.
Without you?
Yes. I've got a little investigating to do, and I want to do it alone.
Oh, gee, Mr. Kent.
Do as I tell you, Jimmy.
Oh, okay. Well, when will you get back to the office?
I don't know. Now, scoot.
Okay. See you later.
All right. Hated to get rid of Jimmy, but I had to do it. Now, to go back into that theater as Superman. Can't seem to find a clue. Not a single clue. Why I'd expect to find one way up here on the balcony, I don't know. Funny. Whole theater darkened except for the light through that skylight. Dust all over the place. Dust and cobwebs. Yet I know I saw a performance here tonight. Gambini did make Miss Sidney Rycroft disappear into thin air. It was a shock to begin with, discovering that Sidney Rycroft, the English explorer, was a woman and not a man. Well, I'd bet... Wait. Lights. Lights have gone up on the stage. Now, that's the funny... that little old man, the one Jimmy and I were just talking to, is walking out onto the stage. I better watch this carefully. He's rapping on the stage floor with his knuckles. Something tells me... panel is sliding back on the floor of the stage. I'd better get down closer where I can see better and hear what's going on.
All right, boys. All's clear.
Did you get rid of that guy?
Oh, sure, no trouble at all. Gambini's car's out in the back right now. Better bring the girl out. Everything okay?
Yeah, we got it gagged and tied up.
Good. All right, then, make it snappy.
All right, you guys, let's get the girl out to the car. Take it easy. Shut up, sister. Nobody can hear you anyway.
You're wrong about that.
What the devil?
Who said that?
Look up there in the box, the guy in the red cloak. Look the girl down, you guys. Looks like we got a little job to take care of first.
You bet you have.
Holy jump. Did you see the leap that guy made?
From the box to the stage.
All right, you men, what's going on here?
Wouldn't you like to know? Ow, me hand. I busted me hand.
Yes, and here's where I break your head.
Get him, you guys. Get him.
Come on, gentlemen. One down. Two down. Well, that's that. Now then, Miss Rycroft, we'll remove that very annoying gag from your mouth. There.
I don't know who you are, but I'm deeply grateful to you. We'd better get out of here.
Oh, no. Not before I question these men. There are a lot of questions that need answering.
Oh, they won't be able to tell you. They're just common hoodlums hired by Gambini. They don't know anything. Oh, please, let's get away from here.
Well, all right. Come on.
Thank you so much for what you've done, but who are you? Why are you dressed that way?
Never mind that. Not important. Now, perhaps I'd better see you to your hotel.
Oh, no. No, please. I'll be all right. I was caught off my guard tonight, and I can't explain, but I'll be all right from here on.
Well, I can't allow you to.
Oh, don't worry. I've got a gun, and I know how to use it. I'll get in a cab, and I'll be all right. Oh, wait. Would you do me another favor?
Why, of course.
There's a man named Clark Kent, a reporter on the Daily Planet. Would you telephone him, please, and tell him I'm safe and that he mustn't come to see me again?
Mustn't come to see you again.
That's right. Tell him to just forget about the interview and the story and everything.
Very well, I'll call him. Clark Kent, Daily Planet.
That's right. And thank you. Thank you again. Goodbye.
Will you excuse me, please?
Certainly, Mr. White.
Here's the White speaking. Oh, hello, Lois. I don't know what's happened to Kent. I sent him out to interview Sidney Rycroft, the British explorer, and the next thing I know, Jimmy Olsen shows up here with a fantastic story about a woman disappearing in a theater that hadn't been used in years, and I don't know what else. What? I don't know, Lois. All I know is Kent better be able to explain all this, or he gets his walking papers tonight. Yes. Goodbye. Of all the idiotic...
Perhaps, Mr. White, the young man will explain everything, eh?
No, I doubt it. It'll have to be pretty good. What a day. I spent most of it trying to get his blasted cowboy friend Tumbleweed Jones out of jail. I finally succeeded, and then...
Hello, Chief. Got to see you right away. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you had someone else with you.
Quite all right, Kent. Come in. Now, tell me, Kent, did you make out all right on the interview with Sidney Rycroft?
Well, that's the story. First thing I discovered was that Sidney Rycroft is a woman, not a man.
A woman, eh?
Yes. And then when
Kent,
we went...
I've had enough of this. If you can't attend to business, if you can't do your job as it should be done...
Wait a minute, Chief. Wait a minute. What are you driving at?
Trying to hoodwink me, are you? Well, I happen to know, Kent, that you spent the day gallivanting around town enjoying yourself.
What?
You never did go to see Sidney Rycroft for that interview, and I can prove it.
Oh, can you? Well, prove it then.
This gentleman sitting on my right, Mr. Kent. Permit me to introduce him to you. Mr. Kent, may I present Sidney Rycroft, the British explorer. Mr. Sidney Rycroft, Kent. Mr. Sidney Rycroft.
Well, Superman seems to be getting into another baffling mystery. What is the solution to the strange incident in the theater? Why did the beautiful English girl claim to be Sidney Rycroft? Be sure to hear the next episode of this thrilling and baffling mystery story with Superman.
And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky. Look! It's a plane! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Jack Armstrong, the all-American boy. Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand. Ever shall our team be champions, known throughout the land. Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions bring you the thrilling adventures of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Say, when you talk about football or big league baseball, you're talking about a man's game. But when you think of a sport champion like figure skating, well, you've got to pay your respects to a lot of girl athletes, too. Now, take Adele Inge, for example. Adele is only 15 years old, and yet she's one of the most famous young figure skaters in America. Everywhere Adele Inge goes, she's recognized as one of the greatest star performers on the ice. Now, doesn't that go to prove what I've been telling you all along? Pick a sport you're naturally good at, then work and practice all you can, and maybe it won't be very long until you're ready to step in the champion class yourself. But I'll tell you one thing, and I know Adele Inge and many other athletes will agree with me on this. You've got to keep in training if you're going to make the most of your natural ability. You've got to pick a good, sound training program and stick to it all year round. That's why you'll find so many young athletes all over the country, fellas and girls just like you, who follow the 3 training rules of Jack Armstrong. You know all about that famous training system, I'm sure. Get plenty of fresh air, sleep and exercise, use lots of soap and water, and eat a breakfast of champions every morning. A big bowl full of Wheaties with milk or cream and fruit. That's a real athlete's training breakfast and a mighty important part of Adele Inge's own personal training schedule. This great young figure skater says, almost ever since I started ice skating, I've tried to keep in training. I've always liked whole wheat, so of course those toasted Wheaties flakes are a favorite for my breakfast. Mother says they're good for me all year round, so I eat Wheaties both in winter and summer. They taste better than any cereal I know of. Now, there you have a red-hot training tip from a champion athlete not much older than you are. Adele Inge enjoys Wheaties for breakfast every morning, and so will you, I know, once you get into the swing of championship training. I'm telling you, those Wheaties flakes pack a super delicious flavor that always hits the spot. And think of all the fine bodybuilding nourishment you get in Wheaties. All the well-known important food values of the natural whole wheat grain. Looks as if you'd better send out a call right away for that big orange and blue package with the 2 famous trademarks, Wheaties and Breakfast of Champions. And now, Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. A strange procession is approaching the native village of Mulita in the wild hill country of the Zamboanga Peninsula in Mindanao. Karang, the chief of the village, is leading the column with a handful of his native tribesmen. But occasionally, he and his tribesmen cast back fearful glances at the pack horse which the Filipino Michelle is leading. They think the horse is a magic horse that can talk, because Jack and Billy have made clever use of a portable radio set strapped on the horse's back. Walking behind Michelle and the pack horse are Jack Armstrong, Billy, Betty, and Uncle Jim. They're going to Mulita to interview an old moral peddler who knows something of the missing Professor Laurie. And Jack and the others also believe that Karang, and perhaps the moral peddler, are trying to incite the tribes to an uprising against the army troops stationed on the coast. Now, as they enter the little village, they sense an air of hostility as the natives come out to observe them. Listen. Listen now, Billy. We've got to keep on our toes in this village. The natives don't trust us. I'll say they don't, Jack. Look at them scowl.
It won't be hard to make the horse keep on talking, Jack. That little radio set's all strapped to his back, and you've got your set strapped to your back. All you have to do is talk into your mic, and the horse will talk.
It may not be as simple as that, Betty. This moral peddler has traveled around quite a bit. He's probably seen radio sets on the coast.
And I'll bet Karang sent a runner ahead to warn the old moral peddler, Uncle Jim. Maybe that peddler's mixed up with this gun running business. Karang is probably afraid the magic horse will find out and tell us about it.
Just like the horse found out who stole Jack's pedometer and told us about it.
Speaking of the pedometer, Jack, how far have we come since we left the main trail?
I'll slip the pedometer off my belt and see, Uncle Jim. Here we are. We've come exactly 4 3/4 miles.
Watch Karang, Jack. He's looking back at you. He's still bound and determined he's going to get that pedometer from you if he can.
I don't blame him for wanting it, Billy. But he's not going to get it while I have anything to say about it.
Yes, we've got to hang on to that pedometer, Jack. Next to a horse that can talk in 2 languages, it's just about the most important piece of equipment we've got.
Oh, I just know Karang will try to steal it again, Jack. He'll probably try it at night, when you and the horse are both asleep.
I'll keep my eye on him. Look at Karang. He stopped. He's signaling for us to catch up with him.
Oh, I guess this is the center of the village, Billy. Why, it's a kind of marketplace. Maybe the Moro peddler is somewhere around here.
We'll have Karang send for the peddler right away, Jack.
I don't see any place around here where they could hide any large number of rifles, Jack.
Shh, Billy, not so loud. Remember that Karang can speak English.
Yeah, I'd forgotten. Look at him scowl at us.
But he's not scowling at Michelle and the horse, Billy. He certainly isn't going to take any chance of offending that horse.
He'll play safe as long as he thinks the horse can talk, Betty. Well, here we are. Let's see what Karang has to say.
Me send for Moro. You wait here. We'll wait, Karang. We've come a long ways to talk to him. You make horse talk for him, huh? I can't make the horse talk, Karang. He talks only when he wants to. Horse talk plenty much. Horse know plenty much. You take horse away, huh? We'll take him back with us, Karang, after we've talked to the Moro peddler. Yeah. Me get him for you. You wait.
I see what Karang is afraid of, Billy. He's afraid the horse will find out something if we hang around the village.
Yeah, didn't I tell you Karang is up to some mischief? That's why he wants us to leave before we find out what it is.
Look, Jack. Look at that bent old man coming this way.
Why, that must be the Moro peddler, Betty. See? He's wearing pantaloons and he's got a turban on his head.
But, Jack, he looks too old and decrepit to have a hand in this gun smuggling.
But he's not too old and decrepit to have had Professor Loring's watch, Billy.
Oh, I don't like his face at all.
It's hard to see his face, Betty. He's got it all daubed up with some sort of paint.
Look, Karang is showing him our horse. He's telling him how the horse can talk English and dialect.
I'll bet I know what he's doing, Jack. I'll bet he's warning the Moro peddler to be careful while he's around the horse.
Oh, I hope the peddler doesn't examine that pack on the horse too closely, Jack.
Say, I hope he doesn't. He may have seen a radio set before.
Holy smoke, Jack, he is examining the pack. Look at him. He's got his hand on the little pack with the radio set.
Oh, I know he'll find out. He'll find out and tell Karang.
Keep your chin up, Betty. He hasn't found out anything yet. At least if he has, he's keeping it to himself. He's not telling Karang about it yet.
Here they come, Uncle Jim. I hope that Moro can speak English.
Well, most of the peddlers that go through the islands can speak English, Jack. Well, Karang, is this the Moro peddler?
Yeah, this Moro peddler. He said, what you want with him?
I'll talk to him myself, Karang. What's your name? Do you speak English?
My name's Solata. Me speak English little bit. What you want?
You sold a gold watch to a man in Zamboanga not long ago. I want to know where you got that watch.
Why you want to know, huh?
That watch came from a friend of mine who has disappeared somewhere in the interior of Mindanao. I'm looking for him. I want to know where he is.
Why you not ask magic horse, huh?
Listen to that, Jack. He knows the talking horse is all a bluff.
Billy, not so loud.
My horse knows many things, Solata, but he doesn't know where my friend is.
Me no like you. Me no like white people.
I don't care whether you like us or not, Solata. I want some information from you, and I'm willing to pay you for it. I'll give you 10 pesos if you'll tell me where you got that watch.
No. Me no like white people.
Look, Jack, Karang is pointing at the pedometer on your belt.
So that's what he's talking about. He wants the peddler to sell us the information in exchange for the pedometer.
What you got on belt, huh?
That's a pedometer, Solata. It tells how far I walk.
You give me. Me tell you where me got watch.
Don't give it to him, Jack. We'll get the information from him some other way.
You give me.
He's walking right into Jack's face. He looks as though he wanted to bite Jack's nose off.
Oh, if I were Jack, I'd punch him one. Wouldn't let him put that painted old mug next to my face.
You give me, huh?
Well, I'll be Jack. You aren't going to give him the pedometer.
Yes, I think I will.
Put it back on your belt, Jack. He's not going to frighten us into giving it away.
Please, Uncle Jim. Will you trust me?
Trust you? Of course I'll trust you, Jack. If you have some good reason for giving him the pedometer, go right ahead.
Thanks, Uncle Jim. All right, Solata. Here's the pedometer.
Why do you suppose he's giving it to the Moro, Billy?
Search me, Betty. He must have some reason. How about it, Jack? What's up?
I'll tell you later, Billy. All right, Solata. You've got my pedometer. Now suppose you tell us where you got Professor Loring's watch.
Me no like white man. Me no tell you. Ha! You ask magic horse.
Why, you low-down double... Why, give us back that pedometer.
Take it easy, Billy. We told Jack we'd trust him. He must know what he's doing.
Well, all right, Uncle Jim. But there's something mighty funny about this somewheres. We'd better get our horse.
Wait. You stay here. See? My men get horse.
Don't let your men touch that horse, Caron. You know he's a magic horse. He'll do something terrible to your men if they touch him.
Jack, someone already has him. They've got him by the reins.
You see? My men got horse. He not hurt them. Maybe horse lose his magic, huh?
You bet he hasn't lost his magic, Caron.
Yeah, we'll see. He keep horse over there. We see if he talk now.
Can you make him talk, Jack? Can you make him talk without anybody seeing you?
Not now, Billy. The switch is turned off on the horse's radio.
Oh, what'll we do? We've got to make him talk.
Look. Some of his men have grabbed Michelle.
We've got to do something, Jack. Look, he's having his men surround us.
Yeah, and they've grabbed Michelle now.
Look at the moral peddler. He's yelling in 18 different dialects.
All right, never mind the peddler. It's these other natives we've got to watch.
Yeah, wait. Well, white man, what you say now, eh? Me think too bad for you.
Look at Uncle Jim, Jack. He's cocking his hunting rifle.
Just 1 minute, Caron. You see this hunting rifle? It's loaded and cocked. The first man that lays a hand on one of us gets a bullet through him. You talk foolish, white man. You shoot once, at all. Maybe you shoot one man. At all you shoot. We get you then.
Uncle Jim, don't shoot. I know what I'm talking about.
Sorry, Jack. If I can shoot only one man, it'll be Caron.
You must trust me, Uncle Jim. I know something.
You know? Very well, Jack.
Yeah. Young man got plenty sense. You go in here.
Oh, Jack, he's going to put us into the shack over here, the one that's sitting on the ground.
All right, Betty, we'll go there.
Jumping Jiminy, Jack, you don't seem very worried about it.
Maybe I'm not, Billy.
Well, Caron, where do you want us to go?
You go here, white man. You go in this house. We look at your horse. We see what you bring here. Maybe you government man. Maybe too bad for you.
Come on, all of you. We'll go into this thatched hut while he inspects our packs.
Get inside this shack, Billy. You too, Betty.
Well, all right, Jack. We're all inside. No one's listening. Now, what's your secret?
Listen, that Moro peddler. Do you know who he is?
Why, he's just an old, ugly-looking Moro.
No, he's not. He's not old and he's not ugly when he takes his paint off. Remember when he pretended to be so mad at me? When he put his face so close to mine? He was just showing me who he was.
But who is he, Jack?
He's our faithful Moro friend from Cotabango. He's Malua. What do you think of that? He's Malua.
Well,
What do you know
that
about
changes
him?
everything.
Well, so Malua's going around the country disguised as an old Moro peddler. Say, he can't be mixed up in his gun running. But there must be some very important reason for his being up there in the Zamboanga Peninsula. And there's some very special reason why he wanted to get that pedometer from Jack, too. There's a lot more to this than meets the eye, and you'll certainly want to be in on it. So listen in, all of you, at the same time next Monday for another exciting episode of the Zamboanga Adventure with Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Now, while you're thinking about it, be sure to ask Mother to get you some Wheaties this weekend. Boy, those Wheaties will taste mighty good for breakfast tomorrow and Sunday. You're all set to start the weekend in champion style if you'll ask for Wheaties now.
Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all of the bran.
This is Franklin McCormick saying goodbye till Monday for General Mills, makers of Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, who have just presented another episode of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
So just buy Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land. Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand. Ever shall our team be champions.
Silver, hooray!
past with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty, "Hi-yo, Silver!" The Lone Ranger. Faithful Indian companion, Tonto, the Lone Ranger rode through the length and breadth of the early western United States. From the hills of Wyoming to the Rio Grande, from Kansas to California, he led the fight for law and order. Against outlaws and hostile Indians, against confidence men and road agents, his strength and courage never faltered. His life was dedicated to the winning of the West, and nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again. Come on, Silver! We're heading for Porter's Gap. The sheriff needs help. Hi-yo, Silver, Early one morning, the Lone Ranger and Tonto had reined up at the side of the trail on the outskirts of Porter's Gap. The sky was overclouded, and a mist hung low over the plain. In the distance, a single horse could be heard galloping toward the town, and... The sheriff's coming, Tonto.
Him ride to town from ranch.
And now we're going to find out if the stories we've heard are true. Come on, Silver.
Get him up, Scout. What you do?
We'll just stop him for a moment and talk with him.
You wear a mask.
I know. Rein up, Sheriff.
Who is it? Get him all right. Tonto see badge.
Rein up. Good morning, Sheriff.
You're strangers around these parts, aren't you?
Well, that's right. We're looking for work. Can you use any hands at your ranch?
Know your business?
And just give us a try.
Well, I guess we can use a few men. The ranch is about 2 miles down the trail. Report to my foreman, and if he likes your looks, he'll put you to work.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Hey, wait a minute. What's your name?
Come on, Silver.
Get him up, Scout.
Hold on there. What's the hurry? Come back here.
Cut away from the trail, Tonto.
Him follow us, maybe.
I don't think so. We'll head for that clump of cottonwoods and make camp. We have the answer to our question.
Him not see mask.
And he was only a few feet away. If he had seen it, he'd never have offered me a job.
Miss, plenty thick.
Not that thick. I'm sure of it now, Tonto. Sheriff Bradley is losing his sight.
You got plan?
Not yet. I need more information. As soon as we've made camp, you can help me with a disguise. Then I'm going into town. Come on, Silver.
Get him up, Scout.
Late that afternoon, a tall, broad-shouldered stranger entered the Combination Cafe and General Store in Porter's Gap. He gave the man behind the counter a list of supplies and then sauntered across the room to the bar. The bartender hurried toward him.
What can I do for you, stranger?
I'm waiting for some supplies.
Joe taking care of you yet?
Yes, he's getting them together. Oh, by the way, isn't Jim Bradley your sheriff here?
Sure is. You heard of him?
Who hasn't?
Great old guy. Fought with Sam Houston at San Jacinto. Jim's one of the best.
Is he anywhere around?
You'll find him at his office. He don't drop in here much anymore, just on Saturdays now and then. But you ought to hear some of the stories he tells about the old days.
There's a story going around about him now.
What do you mean?
He isn't as well as he used to be, is he?
Jim's hale and hearty. Just as strong as he ever was.
Can he see as well?
That's enough of that.
I'm only repeating what I've heard.
Well, that kind of talk isn't popular around Porter's Gap. Jim's our sheriff, and he's going to stay sheriff as long as he wants the job.
You think a great deal of him, don't you?
Every man in town feels the same way as I do. There isn't one of us he hasn't helped sometime or other.
But is it safe to have a man who can't see acting as your sheriff?
Listen, mister, I don't know what business it is of yours. You're just a traveler, drifting through. We got no real need for a sheriff in Porter's Gap. No bad Injuns, and Jim drove the outlaws out of the district years ago. They won't come back either, not as long as he's alive.
But if they know that the
Who's
sheriff...
going to tell them?
Am I the first traveler that's heard the story?
Well...
Haven't you been bothered by any drifters from the gold camps?
Not yet, we haven't. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Who are those two men sitting over there in the corner?
They aim to buy a spread and start raising cattle.
Oh, I see.
Anything else you want to know? Here's Joe with your grub, and I got work to do. How much is it?
I told him.
Here.
Now, you...
Now, there's one more question.
I warned you already, mister, that you...
I think just as much of Jim Bradley as you do. But even if all of you feel safe, isn't it dangerous for Jim himself? He rides in from his ranch every morning. He rides home every night.
His horse knows the way.
One accident would be enough.
Yeah. I never thought about it like that before.
Why should he want to stay on as sheriff when he knows that he isn't fit for the job?
Doggone that young idiot. Why doesn't he come home?
Why doesn't who come home?
Young Bob, Jim's son. Old man's just hanging on so we can hand the job over to him. Figures that the sheriff of Porter's Gap should always be a Bradley. And all of us figure the same way.
Where is Bob?
Well, we don't know. Lit out a couple of years ago to see the world, and none of us have heard from him since.
Well, that explains everything.
Except why the kid don't come home. He knows how the old man feels.
Bob Bradley.
You ever run across him?
And what does he look like?
Well, spitting image of the sheriff. Younger, of course. Good-looking and husky.
No. I've never met anyone who called himself Bob Bradley.
Well, if you do, send him home.
I will. Adios.
So long, stranger.
Where did you leave Silver, Tonto?
In Wood, outside town.
I'll find him. Take a look through that open window. You see those two men sitting at that corner table?
Tonto see him.
I want you to keep an eye on them. Try to find out what their business is. It's less than an hour before sunset. As soon as it gets dark, we'll break camp and head east.
And where we go?
Our first stop is the jail at San Marino. As the Lone Ranger started down the main street, Tonto edged closer to the open window. One swift look at the men inside. Then he turned and leaned against the building. Every word of their conversation reached him clearly.
Porter's Gap. Deadeye Bradley.
Not so loud.
When we get through with them, they'll all be in the same boat. We'll steal them blind.
Shut up.
Where do we start? The express office?
I've changed my mind.
Huh?
Maybe we could pull a job on the express office and get away with it.
Who's to stop us?
But afterwards, we'd have to clear out.
Why?
When something like that happens, there'll be some changes made. The town will realize that it needs more protection than Bradley can give it.
Yeah, that's so. But what of it? We've moved on before. You aren't aiming to settle down, are you?
Why not?
It don't sound like you, Ransom.
I've been sizing up your face.
What's wrong with my face?
Nothing. That's just it. To look at you, you'd think you was a square shooting hombre that
ever knifed a partner in the back, huh?
Somehow, I don't think that's funny.
Now, Ransom. You and me are pals.
We'd better be. Otherwise, I might take a trip to San Marino.
Can't you take a joke?
Not that kind.
Well, forget it. So I got an honest face. What about it?
How would you like to be the next sheriff of Porter's Gap?
Me?
You. We could work out something pretty sweet. There's a Ringo Kid, for instance. He'd pay plenty for a nice hideout with protection from the law. There's Trigger Benson and Borneo Smith.
Yeah, but how can I be sheriff? The town's so sold on Bradley, you'd have to use blasting powder to get him loose from the job.
Not if something happens.
I can't stick up the express office and then run for sheriff.
I'm glad you figured that out.
What's on your mind?
It's one job. Maybe we get a couple of thousand. It's either that or a steady income for a long, long time. Take your choice.
That's easy. But how?
We gotta make you a hero.
Yeah. The express office is easier.
Now, wait. The sheriff lives on his ranch about 2 miles outside of town.
Yeah?
Just at sunset every night, he locks up his office and rides out there. The trail's straight. His horse knows the way. He just gives him his head and lets him ramble.
Yeah, I know all that.
There'll be a moon tonight, but there's plenty of cover on both sides of the trail, especially close to town.
You aim to...
Now, shut up. Lean over here closer. Now, what do you think of this?
The Lone Ranger had returned to camp and removed his disguise. He watched the sun disappear in the west. The sky turned to crimson, and the great plain beyond the woods changed from green to purple. Then his keen ears caught the sound of approaching hoofs. And a moment later, Tonto raced into camp.
Tonto, what's wrong? You come fast. Here, Silver. Man called Ransom. Him want other fella be sheriff.
What's that?
Them bad.
Is Sheriff Bradley in danger?
Maybe so. Tonto not hear all them say.
Where are you taking me?
Meet sheriff on trail. Watch him. See him get home safe.
When does he leave his office?
Sun go down. Him leave now.
Then we've got to hurry. Come on,
Get him up, Scout.
You're afraid they may try to kill him.
That's right.
Oh, Silver, away!
As the sheriff rode slowly out of town, the red glow was fading from the west, but the moon, already high, silvered the sage and bathed the trail in light. Suddenly, the sheriff's horse jumped to one side and...
Steady there, boy. You're no 3-year-old. What are you jumping around like that for? Hey! Easy does it. The trail's rough enough without you cutting up shenanigans. Steady. Oh!
Take a look around, Tonto.
Him dead?
Not yet, but we'll have to get him somewhere quickly. Are there any tracks beside the trail?
That rifle shot we hear. Maybe far away. Plenty cover.
The town's close, but I'm wearing a mask. You could take him in, Tonto.
Men come from town.
Yes, they must have heard the shot, too.
That fella buck in front.
If they find us here, we'll be accused of the shooting.
That's right.
We'll take him to his ranch.
You want help?
I can manage. Get his horse. Now across the saddle.
Tonto got horse.
Come on, Silver.
Get him up, Scout.
Hold it a minute, men. Listen to me.
The masked man and the Indian carried him off.
I've seen those two around here before. A masked man and a redskin just rode away. They shot the sheriff and took him prisoner. What are you going to do about it? Will you follow me? And come on. We're forming a posse. We'll bring him back dead or alive. Come on. Follow me.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. continue our story. Carrying the wounded sheriff, the Lone Ranger headed for his ranch. Tonto followed close behind. On the way, the lawman regained consciousness and...
Where are you taking me?
Home. We're almost there.
Oh, what happened?
Someone shot you. And we don't want to be seen by any of your men, so we're taking you to the ranch house.
Mrs. Hannon.
What?
My foreman's wife. She's there cooking supper.
That's all right.
I heard you call your horse Silver.
Yes.
Are you the Lone Ranger?
Don't try to talk.
Am I done for?
No. The bullet caught you in the shoulder. As soon as Tonto bandages it, you'll be all right.
Tonto.
Rein up, Kemosabe. Now lift him down, Tonto.
You do it.
Easy. Well, that's it. I'll carry him.
It's all right, Miss Hannon.
Masked man and Indian. I'll get you.
No.
Close the door.
You've been shot. They're outlaws.
This is the Lone Ranger.
And we'll put you down here, Sheriff.
No.
We'll need some hot water and bandages, Mrs. Hannon.
The Lone Ranger?
Hurry, please.
I sure will.
Sheriff, we have much time. The men from town are following us, and they believe we shot you.
I'll tell them who you are.
I may not believe you, and there's work to be done. A man named Buck is out to get your job.
What's that?
You may think you fooled people, but you haven't. Nearly everybody in this part of the country knows that you're... knows about the condition of your eyes.
Yeah. Anything else you want?
Tonto?
It's good.
They never said anything to me.
They were willing to let you keep the job as long as you wanted it.
You'll be better soon.
But now that you've ridden into an ambush, they can't let you carry on any longer, for your own sake. You understand that, don't you?
I suppose so. I was only hoping...
I know what you were hoping, but we can't wait long. There's a friend of this man, Buck, who may have arranged to have shot you.
What's his name?
Ransom, but we have no proof. I've seen both of the men before around San Marino. And that's where Tonto and I are heading now.
San Marino? It's 2 days' ride.
And Silver and Scout can make it in less time than that.
You're coming back then?
No, we'll need 3 days for the work we have to do. But Buck is leading the posse that's out after us. He'll try to get himself appointed sheriff in your place tonight. If he succeeds, if he's the man I think he is, he'll bring in his own deputies. The town will have to fight to get rid of him.
Bandage done. We go now.
It's up to you, Sheriff. Refuse to hand over your badge. Insist on an election. Do anything you can to give us 3 days.
I'll do my best.
That party's getting close. I can hear him real plain.
Now, let's go, Tonto.
Good luck.
Hurry. I don't know what you're trying to do, masked man, but I sure hope you do it.
Steady, Silver.
And come plenty fast.
Silver, away!
The Lone Ranger and Tonto raced into the night, the posse thundering after them. In less than half an hour, Silver and Scout had left the men of Porter's Gap far behind. Then on across the plains, the masked man and his Indian companion rode, all through the night. The little town of San Marino was bathed in sunlight, but no one was stirring when the masked man roused the sheriff from his bed and told him his story.
Well, that's as much of a description as I can give you.
Well, it's enough. You've been talking about Buck Winters and Ed Ransom. Bring 'em back here, and I'll stick 'em in jail for 20 years.
What's the charge?
Robbery.
That's all I need to know. But there's a boy who called himself Chet Carlson, who was with them a lot about a year ago.
Yeah, too much for his own good.
I thought so at the time.
This robbery Buck and Ransom are wanted for, we sent the kid to jail for.
He's in jail now?
No, but he was until a month ago. A breed that'd been afraid to talk before gave us some new evidence.
Buck and Ransom had left here.
Yeah.
Is Carlson in town?
No.
Do you know where he's gone?
Durango, he said.
Durango. Goodbye, Sheriff.
The kid's all right.
I'm sure of it.
We can go now?
Yes, Tonto. East to Durango. It's a long way, but we've got to find that boy and get him back to Porter's Gap in 3 days.
Hail, Silver, away!
The cafe at Durango was crowded when young Chet Carlson entered. He forced a smile and took a step toward the long bar where cowboys and ranchers were lined too deep. But the smile faded from his lips, and he turned aside to drop wearily into a chair. Slim Meredith had been watching him. He walked over to the boy and placed a hand on his shoulder.
What's the matter, kid? No luck today?
Nope. Nobody wants a jailbird for a hand.
Now that's no way to talk. We all know you were framed.
Oh, sure.
Well, if you can't find anything, it's just because there aren't any jobs.
The Circle B took on 2 men today.
It's too bad you didn't get there first.
I was there yesterday. Oh, it's no good, Slim. Durango's too close to San Marino.
You going to pull stakes?
Yep.
You got any ideas?
I got one. I'm going to Frisco and try my luck as a sailor.
A sailor?
Yeah, ship out to China someplace.
Well, you're crazy. Why, there's plenty of other places to go where you can still ride a horse.
Reach for the ceiling, everybody.
A masked man and an Indian.
Hold up.
Over here, Carlson.
For me?
I haven't any time to waste. Move.
You better do what he says.
What do you want with me?
You're going to take a little trip with me, Carlson. Don't any of the rest of you try to follow us. Outside.
What's the idea? I don't know you.
Get on your horse.
Now, wait a minute. I've been in jail, but I'm no crook, see?
I'm glad to hear it. Get on your horse.
Where are you taking me?
Home, Bradley.
Bradley?
That's what I said. Your father needs you.
No, you got me wrong, mister. My name's Carlson.
You're Bob Bradley, and your father's the sheriff of Porter's Gap.
No, you're making a mistake. That's loco. My pa is sheriff. Well, ask anybody in the cafe who I am.
We waited here long enough. Start riding. Come on, Silver. You ride.
Get up there. But you're wrong, I tell you.
You're coming to Porter's Gap with us. There's an old man there who's waiting for his son. If he doesn't come soon, you'll never see him again.
You mean?
I meant what I said. If you aren't Bob Bradley, you look enough like him to fool even his father. You're going to take Bob's place. Sheriff Bradley is going to see your son once more before it's too late.
Too late?
We've got to hurry.
I'm with you, masked man. Lead the way.
Hail, Silver, away! The Lone Ranger, Tonto, and the boy raced across country. Night became day. San Marino was circled and left behind. The only stops were to water and rest the horses. At sunset, they reached a pass, less than 10 miles from Porter's Gap. There, Tonto left them. The masked man and the boy rode on toward the sheriff's ranch. At last, they could see the buildings.
Why'd the engine leave us?
He headed straight for town from the pass.
What for?
He had business there. That's the ranch house up ahead.
I know. Yeah.
It's 3 days almost to the minute.
What's that?
Nothing.
Now, let's get this straight again. I'll talk with the sheriff, but I don't have to see anyone else.
That's up to you.
And I'm not going to stay long.
Rein up. We'll leave our horses here in the shadows.
Is the sheriff real sick?
You'll see for yourself in a minute.
Wait. Well, there's a woman standing at the window.
Come along.
Oh, bless you, you kept your word.
Has the sheriff kept his?
Yes, the elected. Oh, you brought back Bob.
Hello, ma'am.
Oh, your pa's right here. Come in. Sheriff, it's Bob. The masked man's brought Bob with him.
You tricked me. He ain't dying at all.
I never said he was.
Dying? I should say not. They put a bullet through me, but I'm feeling fine.
I'm not going to stay.
Nothing's the matter with me but my eyes. I can't see you so good, son, but I can feel your face, and
I said if you didn't come soon, he'd never see you again.
So that's what you meant.
What's the difference? Why do I have to see when I got a pair of young eyes to see for me? I can't be sheriff anymore, son. But you'll take my place, won't you?
No, I can't.
Why not?
I can't stay here. I got to keep moving.
What for? This is your home. You've seen enough of the world by now, haven't you?
You don't understand. What's that?
Maybe the boys from the bunkhouse.
And the men from town, Mrs. Hannon. I sent Tonto after them.
We want Bob. Send him out. They're calling for you, son. They want you to take my place.
I can't.
I know what you're going to say, Bob, but this isn't the place to say it. Do you have nerve enough to step out on that porch and tell those men why you can't be their sheriff?
Well, you think I ought to?
It's the only fair thing to do.
All right. Come on, Paul. Take my arm.
What do you mean, masked man? Why can't he be?
Hello, Bud. Hiya, Shorty. Hello, everybody. Now, just a second. Made me feel awful proud coming out here to meet me, but...
We want you for our sheriff, Bob.
No, wait. I'm proud, but I got no right to be. And I can't take the job. No, wait. You want a man like Paul for your sheriff. Somebody with a record that's as clean as a whistle.
You're a chip off the old block. What more could we ask?
No, man, I'm not. You know, I've been traveling with some mighty bad company since I left here. What's more, I just got out of jail a month ago. Now, what do you think of that?
Bob.
Well, I never did nothing crooked, Pa. I was framed, but just the same, I'm a jailbird.
You give me your word you didn't do nothing crooked?
Do nothing crooked? Why, sure, but I...
That's enough for me.
It's enough for us, too. How about it, boys? He's learned his lesson. I say he'll be a better man because of it. Do we still want him?
You bet we do.
There's your answer, Bob.
Now, hold on. Let's have a look at this cub you're electing sheriff.
It's Carlson.
Pa, hand me your badge.
What? Oh, sure. Here you are.
I'm taking over. And the first thing I'm going to do is put you two under arrest.
You double-crossing rat.
Give it to him.
Right.
Oh!
That fellow over there in the shadows. He shot the gun right out of his hand.
Pick him up, Ransom. I'm taking you and Buck back to town. You'll sleep in jail tonight, and tomorrow you'll start for San Marino.
We'll take care of him for you, Bob. How do you like our sheriff, boy?
Good work, son.
Oh, they'd have got me if it hadn't been for the masked man, Pa.
Next time, you'll be wearing your gun slung lower. I'll show you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Pa, where is the masked man at? I want to thank him.
Don't you know who he is?
Know who he... Why, no.
That was the Lone Ranger.
Huh?
And before you've been sheriff long, you'll find that when his work's done, he never waits for thanks.
The story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.
It's 8:30.
It's 8:30 New York time. Time to wake up, America, and stump the experts. Each week at this time, Lucky Strike presents Information Please. This is a weekly inquisition with you as the quizzers and a board of 4 know-it-alls as the quizzees. For every question we use, Lucky Strike pays out $10 plus a copy of the new Information Please quiz book. If your question stumps us, you get $25 more plus a 24-volume set of the current Encyclopedia Britannica. Send your questions to Information Please, 480 Lexington Avenue, New York City. If our editorial staff edits your questions a bit, don't fret over it. In case of duplication, Information Please uses the question that was received first, and all questions become the property of Information Please. And now light up a Lucky Strike as I present our master of ceremonies, the literary critic of the New Yorker magazine, Clifton Fadiman. Mr. Fadiman.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Information Please, as you know, is uncabined, uncribbed, and unconfined, free as the wind and go as you please. The 4 know-it-alls tonight are the versatile Oscar Levant, composer, pianist, author, motion picture actor, and insomniac. The light verse writer and conductor of that priceless American institution, the New York Post's conning tower, Mr. Franklin P. Adams. The sports expert who specializes in all knowledge, Mr. John Kieran, and Owen Davis, author of the new hit, Mr. and Mrs. North. Now remember, for each question that's missed, Lucky Strike rings up $25. It's paid out to the sender, plus 24 volumes of the Encyclopedia Britannica. Suppose we start the evening with a question coming to us from Joseph Boyle of New York City, and this is a question about famous actresses. Can you name a famous actress known for her beautiful or expressive back? Mr. Adams.
Wait a minute.
Back to back.
Gordon.
Gordon, yes. What's the first name, Mr. Davis? Remember it, Mr. Levant?
Kitty.
Yes, Kitty Gordon was very famous for her back. Now, how about an actress known for her beautiful knees? Her beautiful knees. Mr. Levant.
Ann Pennington.
Ann Pennington, that's right. And how about hands, known for her beautiful or expressive hands? Think of any, Mr. Adams?
Ruth Gordon.
Well, I hadn't thought of it. That's quite possibly true. Mr. Davis, would you think that would be true of Miss Gordon?
Alan Azimova.
Alan Azimova, yes. Mr. Levant?
Zazu Pitts.
Zazu Pitts, very good, yes. And perhaps most famous of all, one of the greatest of them,
Hans Brinker.
Dooza. Now, how about a famous actress known for her beautiful or expressive, I think we better make this expressive, hips?
Expressive.
Expressive hips, yes.
American Expressive, I have that.
Mr. Levant.
Mae West.
Mae West, yes. I should think that would be true. That gives us 4 actresses out of 4, which is very good going at our age. The next question comes from Mrs. Winifred Kamen of New York City. This is a question about characters out of Dickens. Name the character from Dickens who was wooed by having vegetables thrown at her. I'm not kidding you, gentlemen. A character who was wooed by having vegetables thrown at her.
She must have struck out with the bases full.
Think of her. It's a character in Nicholas Nickleby. It's Mrs. Nickleby. There's an eccentric who lived across the way from her, used to throw cabbages and Brussels sprouts and so forth over the fence as a token of his esteem. Remember that, Mr. Davis? There's a smile on your face. The next character, that's one wrong. The next character from Dickens, 8 eggs with the shells on them. I know this all sounds very improbable. 8 eggs with the shells on them. Who was that? Any idea? Yes, Mr. Kieran?
Was it the tame jackdaw in one of the Dickens books?
No, it's Mr. Quilp. Remember the monstrous Mr. Quilp in the old curiosity shop? Then the next Dickens character died of spontaneous combustion. Who was that?
Nobody on this program.
No, apparently not. Oh, you seem extinguished. Died of spontaneous combustion. Well, there's Mr. Crooks in Bleak House. Mr. Davis, were you about to say that?
Bleak House. He swam the river to get away and then got into this little house and burned himself up.
Good enough, yes. I wish you'd come in just a second earlier, but I'm going to give you 100% credit on that. That's not enough, however. That means that Lucky Strike will send out $25 to Mrs. Kamen, the head of the Britannica. Thank you. Now, here's a question from Mr. J.A. Moore of Philadelphia. Get 3 out of 4 on this if you can. Name the sources of the following quotations and tell what's happening at the time. These are all quotations about various times. 1. Quote, "It was 2 by the village clock." Close quote. Where does it come from? What was happening? Mr. Davis?
That's the Paul Revere.
You bet. And what was happening at 2 o'clock in Paul Revere's ride, remember?
He was waiting to carry the news. No, it was 1.
Yes.
He was waiting at 1. At 2, he was riding through Concord.
That's right. He came to Concord town at 2. That's very good going, Mr. Davis. Thank you very much. Now, the next one is about midnight. It was midnight on the waters. Mr. Adams.
And a storm was on the deep.
True enough. And where did all this happen?
That was when we were crowded in the cabin.
Yes, and the name of the poem?
The Tempest.
Is it The Tempest, or is it The Captain's Daughter?
It's called The Tempest by James T. Field.
It's by James T. Field. I have The Captain's Daughter down here. Am I wrong?
You're wrong.
Okay, that settles that. We'll compromise. I'm wrong. 3. It's 8:30. It's 8:30. Mr. Adams?
That's what it was a little while ago, New York time.
Yes, when what important thing happened, Mr. Adams?
When this program started.
Yes, don't be modest. That's quite true. Can you say it the way it should be said?
I ain't got that dialect.
I'd love to get somebody to volunteer to do that. Mr. Levant, can you?
I'll do the first part.
All right.
It's 8:30.
I think you boys are terrible. Do you mind if I get Mr. Speed Riggs up here to do it for us as it should be done?
That was a very unlucky strike, I would call it.
Speed, do you want to show us how it should be done?
It's 8:30. 8:30.
Thank you very much, Speed. Actually, it's 8:36 and a half. I don't harmonica. The clock struck 1. Mr. Kieran.
Down he run, hickory-dickory dock.
Good enough. Who was it who ran
The
down?
mouse.
The mouse, yes. He ran down very ungrammatically, didn't he?
He certainly did.
He should have ran. Should have run. He ran. He run. That gives us 4 times out of 4 times. Now, the next one is a musical question. It comes from Mrs. Helen Ranson of Parkland, Washington. Get 2 out of 3. All you have to do is name the symphonic compositions from which these transitional passages are taken. We're going to have 3 transitional passages played for us, and we have to try to identify the composition, symphony in each case. Let's have the first. Mr. Levant?
It's 8:30. Wait a minute. Da-dee-da. That's, I think, in the it's the Unfinished Symphony.
That's right. Thank you very much, Mr. Levant. I think that's pretty good going. Shall we have the second transitional passage?
I can't get 8:30 on my head.
Too late now.
It's some tune. Next, one more bar and I got it.
Does that give it away?
B flat, the next bar?
I'll have it played again
next bar.
for you.
No, I don't play it.
Oh, no. You can't bribe me, Mr. Levant. You got any idea? Want to guess?
Yup, up on. Is that the next bar?
Don't tell him.
He can't tell me.
All your charm can't do it, Mr. Levant.
No, if it's yup, up that would be the Brahms Symphony. But if it isn't yum, bum, bum, I don't know what it is.
It's the Brahms Symphony.
Joe, ask him to play the next bar.
It's the Brahms first.
Well,
You're right, Mr. Levant. I'm giving you full credit on it.
The next bar.
It's the Brahms first.
Well, then I was... the yum, bum, bum didn't come on the next bar.
Pretty hard supplying you with bum, bum, bum at the proper time. Shall we have the third of these transitional passages? There's no bumps in that, Mr. Levant.
No.
I think we're stuck.
It's vaguely familiar, but to put what they call my finger on it, I don't think Lucky Strike can afford that much time.
Go ahead. Give us an idea. Would you like to guess?
It's in a major key so far.
That's all we're going to do for you.
Yeah?
Yep. I'm sorry.
You don't want him to play the whole piece? Or
No,
take a half an hour?
no. That I can't do. It's the first movement of Tchaikovsky's Pathétique.
You won't play the next bar for me now?
I'm awfully sorry. I think it's a tough question. And that's going to send, courtesy of Lucky Strike, $25 to Mrs. Ransom, together with a copy of the Britannica. And the next question comes from Harry Koretsky of Brooklyn, New York. Can you give me 4 famous books or plays whose titles make mention of anything found in the kitchen, but not foods, if you don't mind? The Melting Pot by Israel Zangwill would be an example. Mr. Kieran.
Peter Pan by Day and Barrett.
That's a very good one. Right. Mr. Levant.
There was a book by Broom Street by Clement Stain. It's about the theater. It's
Broom Stages, I think.
Broom Stages.
Broom Stages by Clement Stain. It's about the theater. Isn't that right, Mr. Davis? Wasn't there such a
Broom
book?
Stages,
yes. I think that's true. Broom, very good. That gives us 2. It gives a pan and a broom. Furnish this kitchen more quickly, John.
What do you hear from the mop?
Not a word from him.
That's Harvard, that's all.
Any more? Mr. Kieran.
The Midnight Bell. There's a bell in every kitchen.
Well, I'm not so sure there's a bell in every kitchen. The Midnight Bell, who wrote it?
Gosh, I know it was old Stockton.
A Midnight
Mr.
Bell.
Davis?
Written by Charles Hoyt. But there's one called The Pot and the Kettle.
That's that gives us 2. Very good. Who wrote The Pot and the Kettle, or was it a collaboration? Sounds like it.
No, it's an old farce, many, many years old.
Well, then let's figure pot and kettle as two, shall we? Can we get one more, Mr. Levant?
I know one not long ago. Broken Dishes by Martin Flavin.
That's a good one. Very good. Sink or Swim by Horatio Alger.
Hey.
The next one from Mrs. Walter D. Montgomery of San Antonio, Texas. Listen carefully, gentlemen. What animal could still be reproduced if not one of its kind were left alive? Don't look at me that way, gentlemen. That's what it says on the card here. What animal could still be reproduced if not one of its kind were left alive? Mr. Kieran.
Well, are you going into the bees again?
No, I'm off bees. I think we've exhausted the bees.
Well, do you mean the Ornithorhynchus paradoxus?
Oh, don't say that.
Well, the
Mr. Kieran.
duck-billed platypus.
I beg pardon?
Duck-billed platypus, but it would have to be very fast work because the egg hatches almost as soon as it's laid.
But it would still be alive, though. But suppose not one of its offspring, not one of its kind were alive.
Well, if you killed all the adult
nobody would
waddling
know
about duck-billed platypuses and platypi and had one egg.
Yes.
Well, that'd hatch.
Well, that would be true of any animal, wouldn't it? Mr. Levant?
Is that the nickel with the buffalo on it you're talking about?
No. I'm thinking of mules. See, mules are the offspring of mares and donkeys, but if there wasn't a single mule left alive, but enough mares and enough donkeys who were willing to cooperate, you could still have mules. Isn't that true?
Are they self-propagating?
I think that's a very good question, quite worthy of $25, which goes out to Mrs. Montgomery plus a set of the Britannica. And now let's see where we are. So far, Lucky Strike has paid out, $75 and 3 sets of the Britannica. And now Mr. Cross will demonstrate for us that a straight line is the shortest path between 2 points.
It's an American habit to go straight to the point, not to beat around the bush. That's why Lucky Strike is bringing you actual market reports on tobacco to show you that we consistently pay higher prices to get the finer, the lighter, the naturally milder leaf. For example, at the Morristown, Tennessee tobacco auctions, latest reports show that the American Tobacco Company has paid 32% more per pound for the tobacco it bought for its cigarettes and other tobacco products. Yes, 32% above the average market price paid for all the various types and grades of tobacco sold there. And the best we bought will go to Lucky's. Well, that's really getting down to brass tacks on the subject of cigarettes, isn't it? Reports like this show you why more and more level-headed Americans are turning to Lucky's for a cigarette of finer, lighter, naturally milder tobaccos.
Mr. Cross, you went straight to the point in exactly 53 seconds. And now we'll begin the second half of the program this evening with a question from Louis Lounsbury of Stone Ridge, New York. And I have 4 characters of literature here on the card. I want you to tell me who they were. Get 3 out of 4. The first was called The Artful Dodger. Mr. Davis.
Oliver Twist.
It wasn't Oliver Twist who was the Artful Dodger.
No, but in the novel Oliver Twist.
Yes?
He was one of the thieves that Oliver was thrown with.
Yes, and why was he called that? What was his specialty?
He was a trained pickpocket.
A trained pickpocket, yes, exactly. Very clever, dexterous young pickpocket. Very good, Mr. Davis. Now, how about the next one? The Double Dealer. This isn't a character from Dickens. The Double Dealer. Mr. Adams.
That's the name of a magazine.
Published in New Orleans some years ago, that's true. But it's a character also. A character in English literature. In a play. In a restoration play. In a restoration play by a man named Congreve.
Love for Love.
I think it's just called The Double Dealer. The play is called The Double Dealer, and the character, a man named Maskwell, is also known as The Double Dealer. That's one wrong. Now I have to get the next 2 right.
Cheers.
Identify the unsocial socialist. The unsocial socialist. Mr. Levant.
I know the book by George Bernard Shaw.
Right. And who is the unsocial socialist?
Well, there were 2 characters in there that kind of took me. One was a character called Smilash that Shaw wrote about in choosing his name. Thought it was the most optimistic name. It's a combination of smile and lash.
Good enough. That, of course, has nothing to do with the question, but it's very interesting information.
The other fellow had a name like Dreyfus or...
that's good enough. Trefusis. Sidney Trefusis was the unsocial socialist. He's the hero of the book.
Yeah, but the other fellow had a nicer name.
Apparently you stick to it. At least you're finished with 8:30, Mr. Levant. We're getting on. How about the gentle grafter? Mr. Kieran.
Well, that was a character of O. Henry, in O. Henry's book.
Yes? You know his name?
Well, that was the name of the book. I don't recall his name.
Jeff,
Remember it?
Jeff something.
Jeff Peters, I think, and his pal Andy Tucker. I guess it was Jeff Peters in the collection of short stories called the gentle grafter, who was the gentle grafter. That gives us 3 out of 4 and sends us on to this question from Mrs. E. Scheinfeld of Milwaukee, Pennsylvania. What are the residents of the following cities officially known as? Well, for example, in this city, we're called New Yorkers. Residents of Chicago are called Chicagoans.
No kidding. Is Milwaukee in Pennsylvania?
It says on the card Milwaukee's in Pennsylvania. It may have moved. It's a very lively city. How about Albany? What are the people of Albany called? Mr. Adams?
Albanians.
Albanians. And what are the people of Phoenix, Arizona called? Mr. Kieran?
I'd call them Phoenicians.
You bet. That would be quite right. Phoenicians is right. Phoenicians. And what are the people of Los Angeles called? People of Los Angeles.
The nickname, you mean?
Are there nicknames, Mr. Levant?
Say you're on the air, boy.
Mr. Levant?
Well, it's a city of angels. And
Yes?
takes in both sexes, I guess.
Oh, sure.
Angels.
Well, that's true.
The
They do
baseball
call,
team's
they do
called
call
the
themselves angels sometimes, but there's a regular name, a more formal name, just as we call ourselves New Yorkers.
Is it
Los Angelesians?
No, that's not it.
It sounds like a...
Mr. Kieran, I thought you had it.
Los Angelesians.
No, that's terrible.
What?
No, you're just guessing. You're going to hear from Los Angeles in the morning. Los Angelenos. Los Angelenos, which I may be mispronouncing, but at any rate, that's the way in which it's spelled.
Is that what they call themselves?
Yeah, that's what they call themselves in their off moments. That gives us 2 out of 3. The next question comes from Frederick A. Maitala of Monroe, Wisconsin. This is a question about wills. You know, the things you leave, if you're lucky, after you die. Can you name the book or play in which these wills figured prominently? I'm going to explain them. Get 2 out of 3. In the first will, the citizens of a city are made the heirs. Mr. Kieran.
Julius Caesar's will.
That's right. Do you remember the will?
Yes.
We'll have the will.
We'll have the will.
Good. And what happens after that? What did the will say?
The will left to each citizen a certain sum of money in the use of his gardens and all.
Right.
A lot of added stuff.
I think that's very accurate. To every Roman citizen, he gives to every several man 75 drachmas. I don't see why you should remember just how many, Mr. Kieran. Now, here's the second will. In this case, a football star inherited a fashionable dressmaking establishment. Mr. Levant.
That's in Roberta.
It is in Roberta, yes. It's the musical comedy Roberta. I think that's pretty good going.
Harback and Kern.
Good enough. Now, here's a hard one. Here's a will in which a man named Snivy left $2 to the city of Venice, Italy, on condition that the name be changed to Snivyville. Now, why anybody should know that, I haven't the remotest idea. Well, it says down here that Mr. Dooley, Mr. F.P. Dunn's character, Mr. Dooley, in an essay called On Making a Will, has a character called The Will of Ephraim Snivy. And this will says, to the mayor of Venice, Italy, I lay up $2 to erect a monument to me and alter the name of the town to Snivyville. Do you remember that, Mr. Adams?
I remember that, but I didn't know it was in Swedish dialect.
It's the best I can do on short notice. Well, that gives us 1, 2 out of 3, which is all we were required to get. Now, the next one comes from M.R. Werner of Madison Avenue of this city. Again, get 2 out of 3 if you can. This is a question about famous traitors. Where did these men, who were accused of being traitors, die? The first one is Benedict Arnold. Where did he die? Mr. Kieran.
I believe he died in London.
Yes, he died in England. I'm not sure what the city was.
I think it's London. There's a poem written about his dying words and so forth. It's a dreadful lesson to all of us.
That's right. And the second traitor, Aaron Burr, died where? Mr. Levant?
I think it was in New York.
Yes, right here in New York City. I don't know what street. Do you know, Mr. Adams?
He had a roundabout way of coming back.
He went to where? Texas
He went to
first?
England first, you see. I think he went abroad. After the duel with Alexander Hamilton, he was in disgrace. Then he had that thing down in Louisiana about Mexico, and again he was in disgrace.
Oh?
And a few more disgraces, and before you know it, he was
back
someplace...
in New York.
No, he was abroad first, and then he came back to New York.
And he died right here in this city.
Of a very old age, too.
Yes, he was.
Very old.
He was very old.
Yeah.
He was very
Life
old.
of Aaron Burr by Oscar Levant.
Short and sweet. The third is the character Brutus. Brutus, connected with Mr. J. Caesar. Where did he die? Mr. Kieran.
He died at Philippi.
Yes, under what circumstances?
He killed himself.
How did he do it?
He ran upon his sword.
That's very good. Thank you, Mr. Adams. Mr. Kieran, and where is Philippi?
Well, it's over across that sea where Mr. Mussolini is having a little trouble now.
You mean near in Albania?
Well, it's over in that direction.
Yes, it is. I guess it's in what we call Macedonia now, or some part of the Balkan Peninsula. Now, the next question comes from Mark Williams of Des Moines, Iowa. Get 3 out of 4. Here's a question. Here are a set of quotations, all about seeing different things. What was seen in each of them? Here's the first. All I could see from where I stood was... Well, it really amounts to completing the quotation, you see. All I could see from where I stood was...
The right fielder's head.
That may become just as famous as this quotation, which is from Miss Millet's poem, called Renaissance. All I could see from where I stood was 3 long mountains and a wood. Mr. Adams, did you remember that?
No.
Well, that's one wrong. Now, the next one. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Well, what did I see? Looked over Jordan, and what did I see, Mr.
Come
Adams?
for to carry me home.
Better not sing, Mr.
Yes,
Adams.
that's not bad.
Chariot.
Yes. A little hard to get that Swedish accent of yours, Mr. Adams. But what did he see, actually?
Something about angels, wasn't
Yes, Mr. Levant, what did he say?
Coming after me.
Yes, a band of angels coming after me, the famous Negro spiritual Swing Low. Now, how about this one? With eagle eyes he stared, and what did he see when he stared? Mr. Kieran.
At the broad Pacific, and all his men gazed at each other with a wild surmise, silent upon a peak in Darien.
That's pretty going.
I'm first looking into Chapman's Homer by John Keats.
I think you got that's right. Very good. That's perfect. And what's the famous error in that poem?
Famous error is that he should not have said Cortez.
Should have said instead?
Balboa.
Balboa, yes. But the poem has remained immortal nevertheless. Shows you don't have to be correct in poetry, Mr. Kieran, doesn't it? I think that's pretty good going. I'll see what we can do with this fourth and last. When I dipped into the future, far as human eye could see, saw... I have how many hands here? Was that your hand, Mr. Adams?
That's my hand.
Did you put it down or did you put it up?
Well, yes and no. It's from Loxley Hall.
It is from Loxley Hall. But, and what was seen in that quotation? Remember, Mr. Kieran?
A lot of airships.
Among the heavens, airy navies grappling in the central blue.
That's part of the vision that Tennyson says he saw.
Well, it was a big vision.
It was a big vision. The vision of the world and all the wonder that would be from Tennyson's Loxley Hall. I think that's very good going on that question. Now we'll have time for this one from Edith Richmond of this city. This, I think, is a rather easy question. That's the first one I could have answered myself this evening. Name 3 sports which do not take place on level playing fields. 3 sports which don't take place on level playing fields.
How about uphill and over Dale, you mean?
Yes, that's all right. Cross-country running.
Why run? You can walk uphill.
You can walk, sure. You can stagger. Mr. Kieran.
Well, skiing.
Skiing, sure. That gives us 2.
Bobsledding.
Yeah.
Yes, bobsledding, that's right. Sort of associated. Let's get 1 or 2 more.
Oh, we had
Mr. Adams, did you have one?
No, but it'll probably be on that tennis court you build.
Well, I was thinking of mountain climbing.
Is that a sport?
Yes, it's a sport. You try it. How about golf? Mr. Kieran, golf isn't on level ground, is it?
Yes.
That's a real estate problem.
I mean, it is not on level ground.
It is not on level ground, yes, but that
Not
gives us
often.
3 or 4. Tobogganing, as you said. J. Bennett Hill of Wynwood, Pennsylvania, sends this one in. What works of fact or fiction have for their settings the following countries? Get 3 out of 4. And now the first country is the country of Nepenthe, Nepenthe. These might conceivably be imaginary, of course. Mr.
You
Kieran?
mean where that country is mentioned?
Yes, in what literary work?
In the Poe's Raven.
Nepenthe?
Yes, respite and Nepenthe, and forget the lost Lenore.
Yes, but isn't that a drink?
No.
No?
No.
No, I thought it was a drink.
No, that's Lethe.
That's your error.
That's
all
Lethe.
all right. Each man has his error. I was thinking that it was the locale of Norman Douglas's novel South Wind.
You save us a lot of money being over there.
I know, I'm very happy. Here's the second country, Marsovia. Marsovia, Marsovia, Mr. Levant.
I think that's the Leha thing, the Merry Widow.
Good, and that is before your time, too, Mr. Levant.
Before my
That's pretty
time.
good.
It's been revived, and
Oh,
Lubitsch
you
did it
saw
as
it
a
again.
picture.
Oh, I was thinking of it as it first appeared when Mr. Adams was a boy.
As opposed to
How
what?
about us? Us. Well, that's in Job. And how about Tomania?
Tomania?
Tomania.
That's
It's yes, Mr. Kieran?
Ring Lardner?
No, it's
No,
the great dictator, as Mr. Levant was going to tell us. I think we'll send $25 to Mr. Hill, shall we? And now is here is Mr. Cross with a word about supply and demand.
The demand, Mr. Fetterman, is everybody's demand today for a mild smoke. Now, that demand draws upon America's supply of the finer, the lighter, the naturally milder leaf. So what's the result? Well, that kind of tobacco is bid up higher at the auctions. That's why it's important for smokers to know the actual tobacco market figures, such as I quoted to you a few minutes ago, to know that Lucky Strike pays the necessary higher prices to get the finer, lighter, milder tobaccos. So when you consider the question of mildness, remember this. At auction after auction, independent tobacco experts see Lucky's pay the price to get the finer, the lighter, the naturally milder tobaccos, and they smoke Lucky's 2-to-1. Why not profit by their experience? For a really mild cigarette, ask for Lucky Strike.
Thanks, Mr. Cross. This evening, Lucky Strike cheerfully pays out $100 and 4 sets of the Britannica. Thank you, Mr. Davis, for coming down tonight. Next week, Mr. Kieran and Mr. Adams will be on hand, and we'll have an unusual combination of guests. Warden Laws of Sing Sing, returning by popular request, and the amiable Boris Karloff. Now appearing in Broadway's smash hit, Arsenic and Old Lace. Remember, for every question we use, whether or not it's answered correctly, the sender gets $10. If the question stumps us, you get not only $25 more, but in addition, the complete 24-volume set of the Encyclopedia Britannica. Send your letters with questions and correct answers to Information Please, 480 Lexington Avenue, New York City. And now a parting message from Mr. L.A. Speed Riggs, famous tobacco auctioneer of Goldsboro, North Carolina.
And that chant, fully interpreted, ladies and gentlemen, means Lucky's pay higher prices for the finer, the lighter, the naturally milder tobaccos. With independent tobacco experts, auctioneers, buyers, warehousemen, with men who know tobacco best, it's Lucky's 2-to-1.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
This is the final and feature contest on this evening's program. 15 rounds for the welterweight title. Presenting the former champion of that division from Los Angeles, California, weighing 140 and a half. He's wearing purple trunks, Henry Armstrong. Pennsylvania, weighing 145 and 3/4. He's wearing black trunks. The current 147-pound boss, Fritzie Zivic.
The bell, first round. Armstrong comes down his usual crouch. Zivic stands there, moves in close. Takes the right, left on the step, jabs the left on the nose of Armstrong. And another left on the nose by Zivic. Zivic again jabs the left on the nose. Armstrong in a crouch takes a short right to the body. And a left to the face and a right to the jaw landed by Zivic. Zivic jabs the right left to the face. Another left to the face. Armstrong swings the left and hooks fashion, but misses and pumps the right to the ribs. And then a left to the side and a right on the chin of Zivic. Here's Zivic jabbing the left to the face and Armstrong countering with a right on to the ribs, another right to the ribs. And again Zivic jabs the left on the nose, another left on the nose by Zivic. And Armstrong misses the left to the body and a right aim for the face. Here's a left jab on the nose by Zivic. Armstrong stands his ground. Zivic jabs the left to the face. Suddenly Armstrong moves in. And Zivic stretches him with the left to the face. A right, another right on the jaw, the two of them. Another right on the chin by Zivic. Armstrong takes the left to the face and comes in there with a right to the ribs as he crowds Zivic into the rope, almost into a little corner. Here's a left jab on the nose and a right to the chin by Zivic, the champion. Armstrong rushed in there with a left hook to the face. Zivic boxing, jabbing again with the left into the face. Another left into the face, another left. Zivic is the taller of the two in the ring here. The taller and the longer reach, I should say. He let go a short right to the chin and a left jab on Armstrong's nose. That is already slightly red. Armstrong moves in there with a left to the body and a right high on the head. Now they move in there. Go into a clinch, short right uppercut on the jaw, landed by Zivic at close range. And then Armstrong fought away with a looping left and missed with it. Tried it again and missed. And Zivic caught him with a short right uppercut on the chin. A left jab, another left jab on Armstrong's nose. Armstrong is not rushing as he was wont to do and
previous battles. Now he crowds his man into the rope, but takes a right. Another right on the chin, landed by Zivic. And then Armstrong came back with left and right to the head. Armstrong in a complete crouch, caught with a short right uppercut on the jaw, landed by the champion. Zivic jabs the left into the nose. Armstrong swings to the left. Now they go into close quarters. A lot of infighting. A right uppercut on the jaw, tilted. Armstrong's head back. Armstrong takes a left jab alongside of the cheek. But he has to take a backward step, another left jab into the mouth by Zivic. Armstrong moves in there, a right into the body by Zivic, and Armstrong cracks a looping right to the face. Armstrong still moves in, takes a short right on the chin. And Zivic pounds another right to the left ear of Armstrong. Armstrong pumps a left hook into the body, and then Zivic took another left to the face and a right high on, a left to the body and a right high on the cheek. Armstrong moves in there, Zivic missed a right uppercut on the jaw. And then Zivic was cut with a left to the body and a right high on the head. Landed by Armstrong. Zivic beat his man with a left jab on the face. Toe-to-toe they're fighting. A short right to the chin by Zivic. And a looping right to the face by Zivic. That landed on the left side of the cheek. Armstrong ducked away from a left and right and took a left jab on the mouth. Landed by Zivic. Another left jab on the mouth by Zivic. And another one along the reach. Another left jab on the mouth by Zivic. Armstrong hooks the left into the face. And then Zivic tries to let go right to the face, but Armstrong bobs and weaves. Ducks away. A right to the body and a right to the face by Zivic. That's the bell. Here's Sam Taub, and here comes round two. Okay, Bill Stern. Jack Zivic and Henry Armstrong. Zivic boxing skills stood out in that first round. They move in there close, and they go into a clinch. Armstrong took a left jab on the nose, tried to counter with a left taken by Zivic's right glove. Armstrong moves in, they take the left jab on the nose. Armstrong rushes Zivic into the rope, but can't land and takes another left jab on the nose, landed by Zivic. Zivic jabs again with another light left to the face. Zivic moves in, Armstrong lifts the right that went over the top of the head. And Armstrong still moves in, bars in, a left hook on the jaw by Zivic. Armstrong isn't rushing as he did a year ago. A right left into the body by Armstrong, another left into the body by Henry. He tries it again, but short of landing. Zivic stands his ground. Armstrong swung with the left to the head, and Zivic got in a short right to the chin, and a left jab on the nose. Armstrong still bobbing, weaving, barring in, trying to get in close to his man. Left jab on the nose by Zivic. Another left jab on the nose by Zivic. Armstrong crosses man to Zivic pounds, a right to the jaw, another right that lands high on the left side of the temple. And a short right to the chin as they battle on the rope about 4 feet away from Armstrong's corner. Armstrong takes a left jab on the mouth, hooks his own left to the face, and a right high on the cheek. Armstrong still moves forward. Zivic stands his ground, jabs a left, dances away from Armstrong's left. Armstrong threw a left to the body, missed. The blow being taken on the glove and then swung with the right, but missed. And here's Zivic catching his man with the right to the left ear, a short right into the body, and they go into close quarters. There's a left jab on the nose, landed by Zivic, and then Armstrong swung with the left to the face, and Zivic countered with a looping right high on the cheek. There's a right left to the face by Zivic, a pawing punch, and then a left jab by Zivic. And Armstrong still moves in there with a right to the left ear of Zivic, who is the champion tonight, reversing position of the October 4th battle of last year. Now they move away, and Zivic gets in a short right to the face, a left jab on the nose, another right on the jaw of Armstrong. Armstrong tilts him forward again. He blinks a little with that left eye of his. A right uppercut on the jaw by Zivic and then Armstrong. A left and right to the chin. Another left and right to the jaw by Armstrong. As he backs Zivic into the rope. Another left and right to the chin by Armstrong and then Zivic. Pounding the right to the jaw and Armstrong. A left hook into the body. Armstrong put everything he had into that attack. Another right on the jaw by Zivic. Zivic took it, though. There's another right into the body by Zivic. They're battling away on the rope. Almost in a little point, and the referee out the Donovan telling them to step away. Finally moves in there, and they break. There's a left jab on the nose by Zivic. Zivic moves in there. Armstrong poked the left into the body, and Zivic a short right to the chin. And a right to the face, and a left jab on the nose. Armstrong still moves forward with his own left into the body. And Zivic, a right left to the cheek and a left hook on the jaw. And a right uppercut on the chin and a left to the face by Zivic. Armstrong still bores in there. Takes the right to the face, a left hook on the jaw, and Armstrong got a right to the chin and followed with a left on the jaw. And now it's Zivic, a left to the face and a right uppercut on the chin as they battle toe-to-toe. Here's Armstrong pointing away with a left to the face and Zivic. A left to the mouth, a right uppercut to the jaw at the bell. There they are coming up. Zivic the tall of the two. Hooks the right left to the face. Armstrong still bores in. Characteristic style in a crouch. Right-handed glove across his face. He hooked the left to the jaw of Zivic. Another left to the face, and Zivic countered with a left hook into the mouth and a left jab on the nose of Armstrong. Kind of rigged, not cut though, just rigged. There's a left to the face and a right on the jaw, landed by Zivic. Another left jab by Zivic, another left jab and a hook to the face with a left by Zivic. Another left jab and Armstrong moves in with a right cross on Zivic's jaw. A hard right cross. And then Armstrong pumps the left to the body and right and left to the head. And the left and right to the face again by Armstrong. The crowd went haywire at the first sign of a real damaging blow. Armstrong missed the left hook into the jaw. Zivic came back with a right. Another right to the face. Here's Zivic pounding a left Armstrong pounding a left into the body. Now Zivic moves in there and Armstrong pounds a right into the left side. Zivic got him a short right onto the heart. And another right to the face. And then Armstrong hooked the left down the chin. Armstrong still boring in, rather coolly and calmly. Let's go another right to the face and Zivic a right on the jaw. Another right to the face and Armstrong. A left hook on the chin and Zivic. A short right to the body and a right into the side. Still toe-to-toe. Here's Zivic with a left and right, a left jab and a right. Cross, another right on the chin by Zivic. But Armstrong flies in there. Throws his man into the rope. First with a right to the side and then a looping right to the face and a left to the head. And still they say shoulder to shoulder. Armstrong got him a right uppercut to the chin. Zivic refuses to budge. Zivic got him a right to the ribs and a right under the heart. Now it's Armstrong with a right uppercut to the chin and then Zivic. A left and right to the face and a right to the body as they battle along the rope. Referee watches the boys. Clean fight, great fight. Both of them swinging away for the face. Here's Zivic with a right up to the face and Armstrong finally bobs and weaves and Zivic can't tag him. Armstrong crowds his man into the rope, so Zivic got in. A short right to the face and a right uppercut to the chin, and Armstrong came back with a looping right to the face. Now it's Zivic who pumps the right left into the body, and Armstrong a hard left and hook smash into the midsection. And Zivic came back with a short right, another right to the chin, and a left and right, the left to the mouth, and a right to the head landed by Zivic. And then Armstrong suddenly let go, a left hook on the chin, and Zivic hooking the left to the face. More deliberately than Armstrong, who's bobbing and weaving, trying to get away from the blows. A left jab into the mouth, and a right uppercut on the chin landed by Zivic. Another left hook on the jaw, and then Armstrong hooked the left to the right to the face after missing the left, and Zivic came back with a short right into the chin. Now Armstrong moves in, refuses to budge at all. Stands his ground, hooks the hard left to Zivic's jaw. Armstrong is rubbing his right eye with his right glove, and back with left and right into Zivic's chin. Armstrong moves in there, Zivic lets go right to the chin. Armstrong hooks the left to the face, and the right to the jaw. He backs Zivic into the rope with another left and right to the chin by Armstrong. It's Armstrong with another right into the face of Zivic, and a left hook. And then Zivic let go a right to the chin. Another right to the jaw by Zivic. Another one by Zivic. And still Armstrong stands his ground. Moves in there. Zivic got in a short right to the face. A left hook to the jaw. That's the bell.
Well, you can hear by the hand that goes up at the termination of each round that this crowd in Madison Square Garden is getting a thrill. This is a grand fight. Armstrong, face a bit red, particularly about the eyes, always boring and doing the forcing. Zivic was in trouble early in that round. He was hit very hard by Henry Armstrong, with right and with left. His knees buckled at one time, but he dove forward into a clinch, saved himself. Then in the late stages of the same round, Dim. It was Armstrong who was on the attack. Zivic took his time, weathered the storm, and came out of it just a little bit, well, the worse for wear, but still very much on his feet and still very, very much in this fight.
He comes out slow. He's got trouble with his mouthpiece, Armstrong has. Finally, he shoves it in. A hard thing to do because he's got gloves on his wrist. Gets it in there, and Zivic got in the face. Punch a left to the face. A right, another right to the jaw of Armstrong. Armstrong swings away with a light left to the face. He bobs the weave. A right uppercut just brings the chin of Armstrong. Then Armstrong came back with a left to the body, and Zivic, as they maul along the rope, shot a right to the chin. And Henry came back with his left hook on the jaw. Now they're battling still toe-to-toe. Armstrong always boring in, always moving forward. Zivic trying to keep him off with that boxing skill of his. Armstrong moves in there, takes the left and right to the chin, landed by Zivic. Another right on the jaw by Zivic, and Armstrong swung with the left into the head. They're taking everything they have on the outcome of this fight tonight. Here's Zivic with left to the face and a right to the left ear. Armstrong bobbing and weaving more than ever. Comes in there, takes a couple of rights on the chin. Landed by Zivic, and then Armstrong hooks the left to the right eye. Fritzie Zivic, the welterweight king. Armstrong pounded the left to the body, and Zivic is short. Another one. Two short right uppercuts to the jaw. Short punches that come in, and they start from nowhere and land. Another right on the chin by Zivic. As they get in close and battle, see who's the better fighter at close range. Zivic moves in there again. Armstrong hooked the left to the chin. Armstrong tried another left, blocked by Zivic's glove, and Zivic swings with a couple of lefts to the face, and Armstrong pumps the left into the body, and Zivic came back with a short right to the chin. All at close quarters. Stand the ground, neither refuses to budge. Armstrong always coming in. Zivic trying to outsmart him. Armstrong swung with the right, high on the left side of the cheek of Zivic.
And Zivic came back with a right to the mouth and a right uppercut, another one to the chin at close quarters. Here's Zivic with more right uppercuts to the chin as they battle around the rope, and a left hook on the jaw. Another left hook and a right to the chin. Drove Armstrong back, but again he comes in there. And Armstrong hooked a left into the body, and a right to the face, and another left high on the head. Here's Zivic pumping a left into the face and a right on the chin. Another left into the mouth, and a left in the mouth, and a right uppercut on the jaw, all by Zivic. Here's another left into the mouth by Zivic. Zivic is out boxing his man. Armstrong tries to bob him. He's not rushing as he used to. A right into the mouth by Zivic, and Armstrong's mouth is kind of in a little bit. Now here's Zivic with a left into the face. Armstrong is not rushing. His right eye is bothering him a little bit. Here's a left into the face by Zivic. And now Armstrong pumps a left into the body. Both eyes are bothering Armstrong a little bit. The right more than the left. Here's Armstrong still moving in. A great warrior we've had. A left into the face by Zivic. Zivic cool. There's a right into the heart by Zivic and a right to the face by Zivic. Another right to the body by Zivic. And then Armstrong swung with a right that went around the neck. Armstrong took a left to the body and a right on the chin landed by Zivic. Armstrong came back with a right into the ribs, toe-to-toe they stand, and pound away. A left hook on the jaw by Zivic and a right under the heart. And then Zivic was hit with a left hook on the jaw and came back with a left jab into the nose of Armstrong. Still Armstrong comes forward all the time. Zivic. Here's Armstrong with a left to the body and Zivic. A right to the ribs and Armstrong a left on the chest and Zivic. A right uppercut on the jaw at the bell. We're now ready for round number 8. We'll send that odds round in the boxing game in the 15-round bout. Round 8. One part is gone, and if this goes by, the other part will come along. Zivic and Armstrong. Armstrong slow to move in there. Got a patch over his left eye. Takes a left jab on the nose, landed by Zivic. Zivic did not still his pre-battle prediction that he would stop Armstrong in the 7th round. Zivic jabs the left, another left on the nose. Armstrong just moves in there. A short right on the chin by Zivic. Armstrong moves in there. Another left into the face, another left hook by Zivic. And Zivic takes his time. Armstrong hooks the left into the face. Zivic was hit with another left into the face. Armstrong's got several cuts. His nose, mouth, and both eyes are slightly cut. Now they move away, and here's Zivic working a light left to the face, jabbing a left to the nose. Another left on the nose by Zivic, and another left. Armstrong still bores in there, takes another left jab into the nose. Another left. As he walks in, he always lets himself open, even though he bobs and weaves. Zivic again works the left, and Armstrong's left hook went around the neck, and Zivic caught him in the counter with a right on the chin, a left jab on the sore nose. Here's Zivic again working a light left to the face as Armstrong bobs and weaves. Armstrong swung with a right, but it went around the back. Armstrong's eyes are bothering him again, no question about it. There's Armstrong looping the right on the chin. Zivic stands his ground, hooks the left into the mouth and a left hook on the chin by Zivic. Armstrong still comes boring in every 10 minutes. You think something's going to happen to anybody, still straightens out. There's a left hook on the chin, a left to the body, landed by Zivic. Another left hook on the jaw by Armstrong. Armstrong's fighting for his very life. Let's go, a left hook bounces off the right shoulder. Zivic fighting like a master, jabbing a left into the face. Cool. Those eyes are busy just watching this man carefully. He hooked the left to the jaw, and Armstrong came back with a left hook on the chin. Here's Armstrong still bobbing and weaving. Moving in there. Zivic trying to straighten him up with a right for the body, just grazing the midsection. Zivic moves in, Armstrong bobs and weaves more and more. Armstrong threw a left for the body, missed, and Zivic worked a short right uppercut on the chin. Here comes round 9 and Sam Powell. And by the way, Zivic has got a cut on the right side on top of his head. Funny thing about that cut, and it is cut. There's a left jab on the nose by Zivic, another left jab. Armstrong moves in, bobs and weaves. He hooks the left alongside of the chin. Zivic still boxing. Armstrong trying to come in there, to shuffle as fast as he can and move as fast as he can. But getting into the way of a left jab, another left jab. A left hook and a right cross on the jaw by Zivic. And then Armstrong moves in, shuffling there with that left hook on the jaw. Zivic straightened him out with a left jab on the nose, a right uppercut on the chin, and Armstrong throwing the left hook and missing, and Zivic working the left jab on the nose. Armstrong's nose is red. A left jab on the nose by Zivic, another left, and that Zivic has got that cut on the right side and back of the ear, about an inch to a half and a half back of the ear. Funny cut, nobody noticed it before. Left jab on the nose by Zivic. Now they move away from each other, and now the ear of Zivic is red. A left hook on the chin by Armstrong and a left jab on the nose by Zivic. Now they move away. Funny thing about Zivic, that left ear is, the right ear is cut very badly. There's a left jab on the nose by Zivic. Zivic pumps the left into the body. Armstrong works the left to the body and the right on the jaw, and Zivic suddenly lets go a short right on the chin. Here's Zivic taking the left into the body and coming back with a left jab on the nose. It's the 9th round. A left jab into the mouth by Zivic. Zivic works the right uppercut to the chin. Now they move away. Armstrong still bobbing and weaving, refusing to go backward. Civic trying to get a good shot at him. Works the light left to the face and he shot right into the chin. Armstrong certainly can take it. There's a left jab into the mouth, another one into the mouth, and the left into the body, and the left hook on the chin, all by Zivic. And then Armstrong shot right to the chin and Zivic. A shot right on the jaw. Here's Zivic moving in towards Armstrong. Working the left into the face, another left to right to the chin, another right to the jaw, another right on the chin, and the left to the face by Zivic and Armstrong. Both eyes seem to be closed. He's fighting by instinct alone. A right to the chin by Zivic, another right uppercut by Zivic. And Zivic lets go punches as Armstrong has a job watching his man. Here's a left into the body, drives Armstrong back. Now Zivic comes in fast. Armstrong staggers around the ring. A left into the face, a right on the jaw by Zivic. Another left into the face by Zivic. And Armstrong moves in there, his legs kind of wavering underneath him. Now he's bobbing and weaving. The little fight is left in him unless he can get over the one punch. He takes the right to the chin, and the left hook on the jaw landed by Zivic. There's a right to the body by Zivic, a hard right, and a right uppercut on the chin. And Armstrong still fighting. The right to the chin and Zivic. A left into the body and the right to the jaw. Again, Armstrong's mouthpiece is knocked down by a right uppercut to the chin, another right and left to the face. And still, James Henry comes boring in. A left into the face by Zivic. Armstrong stays in close. A right uppercut on the jaw by Armstrong. By Zivic, another one by Zivic. And what is keeping Armstrong up? That is the question. Everyone would like to know. Is Zivic moving in there with a right uppercut on the chin? It's the 9th round and it's almost over. They're battling on the rope near Armstrong's corner. Armstrong was caught with a right and left to the face. The left to spun him around. But they're battling away in the corner again. Here's Armstrong taking a left and right to the face. And a right uppercut on the jaw by Zivic at the bell. All right, here comes round 10. Moving Armstrong to the center of the ring. Comes in slowly, but still coming in there with that courage that is noticed in a great fighter and a great athlete of any kind. Zivic, a straight stand-up type. Right hand in front of him, jabs to the left of the face. Armstrong tries to bob and weave. Goes in there, still calling his man. Hooking the light left to Zivic's face. Zivic came back with a short right on the chin, and Armstrong a right to the face. Zivic keeps him off with left to the face as Henry tries to bob and weave. On the rope, Zivic was tripped with left and right, and another light left to the face. But he seems to take the puncher without worrying about the power behind him. Here's Zivic letting go left to the face, another left hook on the jaw. Armstrong still moves in there, misses the left, and Zivic caught him with a short right uppercut that grazed the chin of Armstrong. Armstrong is fighting under a terrific handicap. Not only has his legs drawn back, but his eyes seem to be bothering him. Now he bobs and weaves, moves in there. He does. Looks like he hasn't got his mouthpiece in this time. A left jab on the nose by Zivic and a right to the face. Armstrong still bores in there with a right left to the face and a left chop to the right ear. Here's Zivic with a short right to the chin, another right to the body as they battle along the rope. Then here's Zivic taking his man off with a right left to the face and Armstrong working right to the chin. On the rope, here in Zivic's corner, and Zivic a right uppercut, another one to the chin. Short punches, another one. They don't cover more than 6 inches by Zivic. It's an art to land those kind of blows at close quarters. Short punches that travel maybe 4 inches. Armstrong's right eye is worse and worse. There's a left into the body, a left hook by Zivic. As Zivic moves in there, Armstrong still comes forward. There's a left jab into the mouth by Zivic. He's not doing anything. He's waiting. A right uppercut to the chin by Zivic. Missed the mark, and he works the left to the face. Here's Armstrong throwing a right to grazed the jaw. And Zivic, a short right to the chin as they battle into Armstrong's corner, out of his back to the center of the ring. There's a left into the face by Zivic. Armstrong pumps the left into the ribs. Here's Zivic with a short right uppercut to the jaw. Armstrong missed a 1-2 punch. And Zivic counter with a left into the mouth. Another left into the face. But Armstrong came back with a left hook on the jaw. What's keeping Armstrong up is the question. A right to the chin and a right uppercut to the jaw. By Zivic and another right to the face. And a left hook by Zivic. And then Armstrong drove a right into the mouth. While Zivic's left hook went around the neck, and Armstrong came back with a right to the chin. Again, Zivic is back into Armstrong's corner. Armstrong hooked the left into the face, and Zivic came back with a right uppercut on the jaw. They're still battling with Zivic back on the rope, working the right uppercut to Armstrong's chin in Armstrong's corner. Another right uppercut by Zivic to the chin, and then a short right into the body. Armstrong is cut with a left and right to the face, another left into the face, and a right under the heart by Zivic. Another right uppercut, all at full swing by Zivic. And Armstrong came back with a right left into the face. It's the 10th round. There's Armstrong swinging with the right hand missing. Zivic is trying to straighten him up. Trying to make good his both that he can win by a knockout. The right to the chin by Zivic knocked Armstrong's mouthpiece out. Armstrong came back with the right to the face. Fighting doggedly with the right to the chin and the left to the jaw by Armstrong. Battling away right in Armstrong's corner. Here's Zivic with a left to the face and a right to the ribs. They're still mauling away along the rope practically the entire round. In the clinch to barely. All right, here comes round number 11. And in between the round, Arthur Donovan, the referee, gave Armstrong one more round to be careful about his eyes. Armstrong moved in with the right left to the face. He's just scoring, coming in there, as he did in that 15th round of the first bout. Moving in there by instinct, trying to get in through. Armstrong, hook to left, another left to the chin, and a right to the jaw, and then Zivic. The jaw left to the face. Armstrong, right and left to the chin, and he's back Zivic into the rope. Armstrong, refusing to budge and give away ground. On the right, Armstrong missed the right, and then hooked to the face, a left to the body, and a right on the jaw. Armstrong rushes in again. Rushes after Zivic, with a left into the face. Armstrong pumps Jay left into the body and Zivic. A right into the chin. Armstrong a left on the jaw. Another left and right to the face by Armstrong. Another left into the right by Armstrong. The crowd is yelling for Henry. Armstrong throwing to the left. Another left into the body. Everything he has is putting in. Zivic left to the face. A right uppercut to the jaw. Another right uppercut by Zivic. Another right uppercut. And Armstrong slugs apparently as ceased. Crowd is roaring. Here's Armstrong moving in. He's back Zivic into the ropes. They're battling away furiously near Armstrong's corner. Here's Armstrong taking a right uppercut. Another one to the chin by Zivic. Another right uppercut by Zivic, and Armstrong seems well spent. Armstrong comes back again with the left hook and Zivic. Left and right to the jaw. And Armstrong went down for a second and got up. His knee started to go to the canvas. He wasn't completely down. A right on the jaw by Zivic. His right knee started to go down, but Armstrong saved himself. One more punch would have put him down. There's a right to the chin by Zivic. Armstrong's fighting again, moving in there. Taking the right to the chin by Zivic. It's the 11th round. It's near the end of the round. 30 seconds of the 11th to go. Here's Zivic. A left jab, another left jab, and a hook to the face. Armstrong rushing in there. Taking the right to the chin, landed by Zivic. Armstrong missed to the right and almost fell down. And then Armstrong hooked the left into the body. Armstrong counters a left to the body again. Here's Armstrong taking a left hook on the jaw and a right to the chin by Zivic. Another right and left to the face, and Armstrong's face is a crimson. Armstrong still rushing in there. That's stand. He's standing this round. Here's Zivic with a right on the jaw and another right to the face and left to the face and a right uppercut by Zivic at the bell. The New York boxing doctor is in the ring now looking at Henry Armstrong. He's gone back. He says the fight can continue, and so here comes round 12. The madhouse here. Stark mad, 22,000 people. Zivic the champion. Armstrong fighting furiously for his existence. A right uppercut on the jaw by Zivic. Another right uppercut at close range. Another right uppercut by Zivic. And then Armstrong a right into the ribs. About 6 feet away from Zivic's corner, and Armstrong hooks the left into the face. Zivic a left jab on the sore nose. Armstrong's right eye, left side, both cut. Nose and mouth also bleeding. Now they move away. A right cross on the jaw, landed by Zivic at close range. Delivered, another right on the chin as Armstrong gropes his way in. There's a left hook on the chin. Armstrong slipped and went down. Quickly got up. Right eye pretty well cut now, Armstrong. Zivic offered him his hand as Armstrong slipped. And hardly see out of that right, a right uppercut on the chin by Zivic. Championship match, so we believe the referee would have stopped it before now. Here's a right on the chin by Zivic again, another right on the jaw. Armstrong's offering his way in. The referee stops the fight. He stops the fight, the winner by a TKO, and retaining the title, Fritzie Zivic. Take it, Bill Stern. Well, there you have it. Arthur Donovan steps between the two fighters, holds Fritzie Zivic's hand up in the air, and it must go down in the record books as a TKO for Zivic, and Zivic is still the welterweight champion of the world. The fight is finally stopped. As soon as the microphone comes down, we'll have the announcement. Harry Ballow standing in the center. All right, I believe, and here it goes. Let's listen to the announcement.
The time, 5-2 seconds of the 12th round. The referee stops this contest. The winner and still the welterweight champion of the world, Fritzie Zivic. Up, Mike.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the two fighters are still in the ring. The crowd is standing up, 20,000 people. Fritzie Zivic is coming over to our NBC microphone. Sam Taub's going to put him on the air right away. They're pulling off his gloves now. Here comes Fritzie.
Here is the winner and still champion, Fritzie Zivic. I want to say hello to all my friends out in Pittsburgh. Hello, Charlie and Fred. Hello, Mom. I also want to say hello to everybody over at the Panama Hattie. Hello, Jackie and Slim. Hello, Dr. Tester. I'm trying to get fighters.
I'm Henry Chapp, your host, and that's the way it was on January 17th, 1941. Some great stuff there. a lot of adventure on that Friday from long ago. Come back for our next upload as we spotlight Saturday, January 18th, 1941. I'll tell you what we have coming up on that program in just a moment. Let me give you a reminder to check out our newspaper channel. Just expand the description section to this video and you will see a link that goes right to that channel. It's a companion channel to this one where we read the newspaper one day at a time as we go through World War II. We don't go through the war as quickly as we do on this channel because, well, it takes me longer to put a program together, and I'd like to try to put an upload a day. That's what I'm trying to do on this radio channel to make it more entertaining for you guys. And also like us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page called the World War II News and Old Time Radio channel on YouTube. And I share a bunch of things from other channels on there. A lot of it will just pique your interest. Generally, they spotlight the years 1938 to 1945, which are the years that I spotlight. I try to spotlight mostly on this channel, and eventually the newspaper channel will cover those years completely as well. So like us over there, subscribe over here on the two channels and click on those bell icons. The newspaper channel is my money-making channel. This channel is my fun channel. So let's have some fun tomorrow night as I tell you what we have going on. We have Jungle Jim, front page drama, the two Hearst newspaper channels, and a BBC broadcast, a 90-minute broadcast of a program called High Gang. So that is always a treat to hear something off the BBC from back in 1941, right? And, excuse me, right? It chokes me up too. Right in the middle of the war. Some great stuff, some great stuff. Until then, let's turn off this old tube radio. That's our time machine. Good night. God bless.
This changing world, this changing scene. Where is it taking us? What does it mean? As long as we're certain of each other, we know we don't have to be afraid. These changing times we rise above. We have no time for them. We have our love, and love is the only thing that still remains the same through all this change.